Well, okay. Bring it in. So, where are we? Last time out, you had just returned from the Library of Eritrea, utterly exhausted. But before you had opportunity to even rest, Balthazar and Faendal felt the presence of the spheres directly outside Faendal's door. You initially hoped that maybe the extensive wardings that Faendal had on his sanctum would hold. They were relatively quickly dashed before the door caved in. The final defences of Faendal dealing with the initial intruders before Thrungi leapt to stand in the way while the rest of you attempted to flee from a group of undead as well as a pair of necromancers that you hadn't met before but seemed to at least know who you were. Unfortunately, these twins weren't inclined to let you leave, dispelling your mounts from underneath you and sending many of you cascading 100 feet from the top of a tower down to the floor.
The team was actually has a name. A Budget Team Rocket.
Budget Team Rocket. Okay, sure. Balthazar and Thrungi were both rendered unconscious and their lives threatened if you did not return the sphere that the twins had come for. Sorry, Budget Team Rocket had come for. Faendal made the ultimate decision to live another day, handed the sphere over to them, and the mages were good on their word, allowing you to save your friends from completely bleeding out. At which point, I think Rambear then hit the floor, immediately went unconscious. Nyah avoided a lot of the problem by a clever use of Misty Step. After all of that, the Guardians of the Library, having been alerted by decent loud spells and everything from the rest of you, arrived. Too late, much to your annoyance, and justified annoyance. You convinced them to grant you a stay of eviction due to exceptional circumstances, were able to gain your long rest, and then teleported back to the Adamant Citadel. And that is where we pick up. Standing in a teleportation chamber, the sturdy stone walls, and a slowly fading glow of arcane light from your teleportation. What do you want to do?
Fuck knows. We need some food, I think.
And drink.
What did I say, sorry?
Cry.
Cry.
No. Does anyone rush in to greet us, or
No, you. Doesn't seem to be a kind of thing to rush in to greet you. Standard procedure that someone arrives via teleportation circles. So.
Do we know where we are? Have we been to this bit before?
Faendal will have been down here because that's how he knows the teleportation circle.
Okay.
The rest of you probably not because you've not used them before.
Shall I lead us to Fidelis? Fidelis? It's Fidelis, isn't it?
I think so.
Should we do a debrief with Fidelis? He's like our boss man. So.
Probably a decent idea.
Yeah.
Fair enough. You head out of the immediate door to this chamber and come into a larger circular room with a number of kind of doors off it. There's multiple teleportation circles within the guild such that they don't all get jammed up all at once, essentially. In the centre there is a halfling on the desk who just kind of notes your presence and spins the book they've got in front of them round towards you. Let's go. Signatures, please. Just to keep an audit of who's using the circles.
I'll sign my name.
Rambear's gonna smush their paw into the ink and just right in the middle of the page.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Welcome.
You know,
Assuming you all do that.
Yeah, we all eyesight.
You'll
everyone's
then-
fine.
You then spot the kind of stairs that lead upwards and into kind of the main portion of the citadel. Doesn't take too long to kind of get towards that direction. Balthazar and Faendal, with your passive insight, you're aware there's kind of an air of tension or like that kind of calm before the storm feel within the guild at the minute. You don't know exactly why, but there's just kind of that feeling as you're passing through that a lot of people are focused on a particular task.
like prepping for war style.
Kinda, yeah.
People rushing around, very focused, very
Not necessarily rushing, but kind of moving with purpose towards various things. But yes, you kind of move your way through the crowds relatively, or the scattered people anyway, relatively easy, and you come to Vidalis' office. The door is ajar, which is a little odd for him. He usually keeps it shut.
Knock on it anyway.
Enter. There's the sound of kind of just almost tiredness to his voice a little bit.
I'll push the door open and head in. I'm assuming everyone's following.
Hello, very sadly, very depressed. Again.
Ah. Pleasant to see you all alive. It's been a while since you reported back. It's about a month and a half. You've been
Just
gone?
say I cannot remember what we last said to him.
If I remember correctly, you basically said you were heading towards Kirond, and you were going via Vandis. I can't remember whether you told him that, but you were heading to Kirond, so we knew that.
Should have debriefed him after this. Now we've got to do tons.
Not sure how you would have debriefed him after Vandis. You just send
But a
25 words. Oh, birds would have worked, yeah. Anyway, well, it's pleasant to see additional faces. Sorry, things are quite busy here at the minute. What did you care to share?
How chronologically
Well,
do we get on this?
I have a little bit of time right now. I'd appreciate as much information as you feel is needed.
Full debrief, including because we travelled through Vandis and things happened there, but they weren't necessarily as personal
Well,
as
we'll
what happened.
make a note of Vandis. It still seems to be somewhat contained to their own devices and unproblematic, so...
Biggest thing to maybe note from our journey to Vandis is the ruler of Vandis is still the old ruler of Vandis. Duke
Lord von Racer.
Lord von Racer.
Do
He's
you
a
know
vampire.
how a man of considerable age is still alive?
He's a vampire.
Excellent. Well,
But he's a relatively friendly and peaceful one, actually.
from
His son, on the other hand.
This is the
his
important bit.
son?
Lord von Racer held one of the, I believe, held one of the spheres at one point. The entropic spheres. Until his son stole the sphere, ran off with it, created an undead army, and now has four.
Offset.
Oh, his son is dead of this.
You watch him, his heavy kind of bovine face, try and process that level of information. So, just for my own understanding, on your way to a completely other place on the world, found a vampire ruling over a kingdom, who happened to be the father of the vampire that you interacted with and have dealt with, and seems to be a nemesis of yours and a large threat to multiple people.
Don't forget that said vampire who rules the kingdom was the previous guardian of one of the spheres.
Yes, that too. That is something of considerable interest to the guild, and we will definitely be investigating that further.
I will say, I think we would, as a group, appreciate if you were relatively discreet and polite about it. We do not particularly want to go his bad side, but it would quite on his good side.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Persuasion.
Persuasion.
Uh, 16.
We will do our best, but any mention of the spheres is worth following up on, at least. I'm sure if time allows, you may be asked to do it yourselves, since you apparently have a decent rapport with a secluded individual. Also, if I remember correctly, when you left here, you had brought a fourth sphere here. It is kept within the vault.
Yep.
You say now that this Zenodis has a fourth himself?
Yes.
Do you know how he came to possess it?
That is.
That requires the entire full debrief of like the Charon bit.
That's not
We're
Russia.
not ready.
I mean, the journey was eventful, but I don't know if you need to involve that.
We met Ben.
Yes, I met Ben.
It was a kraken.
There was a kraken. Nyah died a couple of times. It's fine.
You see him desperately trying to like keep up with this, as like full-on shorthand note taking.
It's
Those are
honestly,
Chris's full notes.
that stuff is like barely mentionable. No, that we have plenty of things. How relevant they are to the mission is debatable. But if you want all of that, you want that now.
I think we will need it for records at some point, but given other concerns, let's keep it to the key points.
We sailed to Huron. I discovered I am a great reader of Huron, or was. I have since lost that post.
He doesn't seem to react to that.
As a group,
I've become accustomed to not only you, but adventuring parties on the whole in my long tenure. Stupid things is what happens.
we may have, or okay, I will take responsibility. I may have torn a hole.
I'm sorry?
I may have torn a hole in the plane. It's gone now,
Right.
but I regained my memories. I now have full memories. There, somewhere. And I have been working on a contraption to access the lost library of Treya, which you are not aware was the myth on Huron, was in the library or lost knowledge. to get to it. We went to the library. The sphere, the neutral sphere, in the library. Leave that library. Brought and were immediately assaulted by Services office, blowing powders and
You see on a face that already has been carrying a level of concern. It seems to grow an extra few worry lines, essentially.
immediately all his tags up were.
Yeah. This is troubling indeed, considering the plan that you had put forth when you had left in hoping to prevent him from obtaining any more of these. This is a matter of significant importance to not only yourselves but the guild as a whole. However, there are more immediate concerns that the guild is currently dealing with. To that end, I strongly recommend that you take some time to recover. It seems like a stressful few months that you've had, and tired and worried adventurers make bad adventurers. But at the same time, it does seem that time is a concern. So, do you have a plan yourselves to deal with this? Is there other steps you would take in order to prevent this growing threat?
Don't know that we can. I think Zenith has used us to get the last sphere. As in, we did the heavy lifting of going to the library and getting it, and then he used one of them, the Rift Sphere, to portal in and take it from us. So going after the 6th sphere is probably not a good idea for us.
I would agree with you on that. If he seems intent on playing the board rather than striking out on his own, it's a reasonable strategy to change tack. However, that makes it sound like you are going to sit here and wait for him to do what he wants.
That we have done much with little guidance. Failed on much of it, and we are all like.
He kind of looks across each of your faces. You bear the faces of adventurers who feel like they've lost already. I've been in your position before, and it is tough to come out of. However, there are always ways that you can resolve yourselves to obtain greater things. There are ways to obtain greater power, relics that may be of use to you, or simply train to such a level that you believe you can confront the thing that did defeat you. Every adventuring party goes through these moments where whatever evil they are facing down bests them and they are left wondering what they did wrong, what they could have done better, where they failed. It's in those moments that they find what they need to succeed. Take a couple of days, evaluate what you need to come back stronger and deal with the threat. The majority of the guild is about to head out. We'll be leaving behind a garrison of adventurers to keep watch onto the citadel, while the majority of others head into the Stormfang Mountains to deal with the threat we've found underneath there. Now, if you are reckless and desiring to pent out your frustrations, then you would be welcome to join the forces. However, I would strongly recommend you stay here as part of the garrison. Use the resources you have here to recover yourselves, recover your confidence, and plan your next steps to bring about the end to this Zenidis and stop the threat.
Is lowering the citadel's defenses to white.
The citadel itself is well defended regardless. And
Threat on the mountain's really that great.
it is. We have uncovered a cabal of ancient dragons who wish direct vengeance against the Adventurers Guild, and have since. For a long time, shall we say. It is better to deal with this threat before they complete their own plans. And once that is completed, there will be a greater amount of the guild that can aid you in your threat. I ask you to make use of the knowledge you have already gained. You are our chief resource on the expectations of Zenidis, these spheres, the potential that is coming. Use that knowledge, prepare, and when the rest of the guild can aid you, they will follow you and your knowledge to whatever ends.
I may have to make a request. I have previously made that rejected. I feel now more than ever that we need to know more about guild founder. His name.
Amira-san.
Just Amira. Come on, Amira. In the library trail, we found out more about her. She's tied to.
I will make a follow-up request with Guild Masters Salfa. I think it's Salfa. For this request, what specifics are you requesting? I know previously you requested the opportunity to open up her mausoleum beneath the citadel. Is that what you are following up on?
Be the same. Also, any knowledge of the location of a journal, or the told she had a. What did they say? She had like a secret lab or something.
I don't think you knew about a secret lab. She definitely did have a lab within the citadel when she did work there, but probably just it's now been repurposed as a general place, kind of. She did have the Serentex, the particular thing that you were very interested in, which contained all of her research notes. And you did theorize that it was in her mausoleum. That's why you requested it originally. I will make the request, and considering the growing concern, I am relatively hopeful that with proper reverence such a thing will be allowed. Is there anything else that I can directly help you with now before you go about your own personal business? If not, I recommend you head down to the quartermaster and get your requisition of consumables, health potions and the like, before they are completely outstocked and taken to the mountains. But if you need me, I am remaining as part of the garrison, so I will be here to aid you where I can.
Thank you.
And you head off.
As we're walking, Rambear wants to approach Faendal. Something just crossed. Wait, did you ever tell us about the wine with your name on it? From Xenodus, sorry. Not Xenodus. Lord Maria.
Constantine von Racer, if you want his first name.
Thank you.
I did not.
Did not? Okay, well then, I have nothing to ask.
If it makes it something interesting, you should
You've had plenty of travel time that it could have come up. So.
Oh, if you had told us.
I might have. You guys did learn his surname, and I remember Rambear going, surname? But no, I don't surname. Yeah, that's fine.
That does actually sound familiar. Cool.
Did you got your memories back? Do you remember Constantine?
Just because I got my memories back doesn't mean I remember everything. That is 7
Roll a history check.
good years of memory, Rambear. A week.
Roll a history check. Usually I would say at advantage because it's your own memories. But, as you say, it's a bit of a, I need to reorganize this in my brain for a while first.
It's a plus 13.
Yeah, I know, but...
Not bad. 31.
Jesus Christ. No, you have no memory of him before having met him in the last month.
Very confident with that. Yeah, but it's a 31.
Yeah, you are 100% confident you have never met him before until having been invited as part of a horror month through a land of zombies and undead.
I am 100% sure that I have never met one when I spoke. I mean,
Wonder.
he's a very knowledgeable and very long-lived person. If the Yaqui, that would be more than they separate. So, like, because Stephen Reyes is older than I am, he will know things. I was a reader of the library. I imagine he keeps tabs on the library.
We should also probably still send our gift back to Emilio to thank him for all the help he was.
What gift are you sending him?
Find something.
Okay.
A butler hat.
I forgot about Emilio.
Your butler gloves. You can brainstorm later. This is important, but not most important. I guess we're going to go loot the supplies, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's not
You head down to the kind of requisitions area where everything is kind of kept, without too much effort, you are handed as a group 4 regular healing potions, 2 greater, and 1 superior. To divvy up as you would wish. The guild makes a habit of keeping you well stocked even when you're planning on staying around the guild, because adventure springs up whenever.
no.
No, you did use a lot of them.
One superior, 2 greater, 4 regular.
I'm still holding a superior and a greater.
paramedic Balthazar.
I have still got.
Being nice, hands are like
I got 2 potions,
normal.
potions healing.
Remember?
I'm just getting that up. I think I've got a couple of potions of just regular.
Does Thrungi carry potions, or does he refuse?
I think he does.
Doesn't have any.
Yeah, I was. I don't think Thrungi tends to go like, I don't need.
Oh, but he can't heal people.
Well, I mean, they've got them on their bodies. Like, they just grab them off them. But yeah. So how about me and Balthazar take 2 regular ones each? That means that everyone but Thrungi's got 2 regular ones. Does Thrungi want 10?
I mean, it might make sense for him to have a regular, so he can, or 2, so he can put it in your mouths.
Maybe that. If Balthazar has already got 2, you go to the next one. He can heal anyway. I'll take 2 and Thrungi should take 2 because we're the only 2 that can heal. So I'll have 2 regulars for reviving stuff. And then a 2 greater superior. Like that.
Let those between Nyah and Rambear, I guess. If Thrungi's having some and you've got some already, don't you, Faendal?
Well, yes. Why done? I would appreciate one of them because I'm trying
Yeah.
to try a lot man. One of you have a greater or superior, just so that if I'm in an emergency and a die situation, I can shoot that.
Want the superior, and then Nyah and I can take 1 greater each.
Okay. At the potion superior.
I'm taking a superior, you take a greater.
Yeah.
While you're also there, sorry, I'm muted. While you are also there, is there any other requests you would like to make of the quartermaster? They have a varying supply of common to uncommon things that you might be able to get. What was that, Chris?
Rations?
What potion, sorry?
Rations.
Oh, rations. Yeah, you can get rations easily. You can easily
I mean,
get a week's worth of rations each with no effort.
Are you gonna ever track again?
No.
So we will
I'm done with exploration. We've done enough of that.
We did that.
Especially since you're now high enough levels where you can wind walk and teleport via plants. I don't feel like it's necessary anymore. But yeah, you can all get a week's worth of rations if you want them.
Oh, maybe we could sell our rations. If we don't need them. We have an in-game source of money.
They depreciate in value.
Worse than cars.
Yeah, I mean, these actually go off, that's the problem. Anything else you guys would like to do in the immediacy?
Not that I can think of.
No, I think get basic supplies. On a rest citadel and then go down to Bearfolk.
It's currently like
Morning, isn't it? It's hard work.
yeah, it's like late morning currently.
Do we want to go down to Bearfolk straight away, or do we want?
No, it's not. No, you would have taken longer than that because Thrungi and Nyah had to get back and forth from Whitecliff.
Oh,
So you would have teleported out around midday, I think. So it's early afternoon.
so day of relaxing. See what the citadel's bars are like.
It doesn't really have bars. It has a.
I
It
said
has,
spa.
oh,
I said
spars.
spa.
Sorry, I was gonna say bars. It doesn't.
It does
It has a long haul. It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't have anything in it per se for spars. However, you would know, having been around and through Rambear's various contacts, that The river is quite nice, and with druidic magic, people have kind of carved out hot pools that are now kind of fed through druidic magic, just like on the banks of the river, outside the citadel.
We kind of relax. Each other.
Yeah, you can head out to the hot pools and just chill while 75% of the guild gets ready for war.
Rambear. If anyone else has seen what Rambear's put in the chat.
Let there be one spa. It's a small one.
For the sake of the camera.
Thank you.
You can definitely find proper spas in Bay Falls if you want one. Bay Falls is a high class enough place that it's got plenty of them.
I mean, alright then. Let's late afternoon. Go to Bearfolk. Go have a spa there. Get absolutely hammered.
The journey time to Bay Falls will mean you'll arrive probably at dusk. Spas will be shut, but the bars will be open.
We could get there faster, I think.
Oh,
We had a long rest last. We had a long rest last session.
Wind walk.
We do that pretty soon.
If you want to, yes.
50 feet a second?
It's 800 feet a minute, I think.
300 feet around?
Might be that. Actually.
800 feet a minute is not that fast.
No, it's 300 feet around. Your movement speed is 300 feet, I think.
So 10 times movement speed.
That's
Which is
one.
54 miles an hour.
Yeah, 300 feet. Which.
It's only 34 miles an hour. It's like an average car.
Okay, to put that in context, travel pace is 300 feet a minute. You're doing that every 6 seconds. So
It's like
that's you
getting the
travel
car.
30 miles. You're traveling at 30 miles an hour, basically.
That's what I looked at.
Close to 3.
We're getting the fast car.
So yeah, you will get there right at the end, like last entrance to the spa. Essentially, is when you would arrive, and you would have a decent number of hours in there.
What happens if I hiss?
Do you have to
I'd have
haste
to
each of us or something?
I have a question. Our movement speed is 300 feet, guessing, correct?
Yeah, and you can only take the dash action, so technically you're traveling at 60 miles an hour.
Thank you.
Wow, speedy.
High level druids, man. Yes. You can either, if you cast haste, yeah, technically your movement speed would be doubled, so and it would stay up. You can maintain concentration. You would leave all of your friends behind very quickly.
I was
Get
really
into
hoping.
the first round.
I was really hoping haste could be upcast.
It can only be twinned with a sorcerer.
I did not.
Haste is broken enough.
So
So are we going for a spa day?
I think we need it.
I think that's well justified, and spas are a great place to talk about the pain and suffering that you've endured. So
I want us all to have like bards in the same room, and we're all sat in the bar, and we're just chatting to each other.
you head up to one of the towers on the citadel, and Rambear gathers you all around. What does it look like as you cast Windwalk on everyone?
It's gotta be a sound effect, right?
Sure.
No, I've been calling it park the whole time. So I would like it to sound like, you know when dogs part and they scare themselves. Each time, so I can cast up to 10 creatures. So for each creature that it's cast on, I want a little.
It's like each one of the steps on a whoopee cushion.
Exactly, and then your gas.
You are now a faintly
cloud.
visible cloud of water vapor floating on top of a tower, and you can't talk, you can't do anything except kind of move and make weird kind of shapes You can essentially try and skywrite with yourself, badly. It would make a hell of a game of charades, is all I'm saying. It's the combination of charades and lying down on a field and staring at clouds and telling what they look like. That's what's happening here.
We all have to do like one of them American football chants where they like do like the letters and stuff, and it goes fuck, tenor, dick.
And you fly off to Bay Falls with incredible speed and arrive fairly quickly. Following the river down to make sure you arrive properly. The large white walls and buildings and towers of Bay Falls on the shoreline come into view, and you coast down. Where would you come down?
Bearfolk can get good sunsets, doesn't it?
It does. It's on the no, it's on the eastern coast.
It gets sunrises.
It does get very good sunrises. The Citadel gets great sunsets because that's when the sunlight catches the waterfall and gives it its name of Fire Falls. I can't remember what I called it now. Something like that. Yes, you float down towards the troop sector, which is where kind of the play hard side of work hard, play hard within the city lives. You ask around. It doesn't take long to find a spa. As I say, you ask around. Are you looking for the fanciest of spas? What kind of spa are you looking for?
Been loaded now.
Yeah, we want the fanciest of stars. Like 5
Fanciest
stars.
of spas. While you are asking around, is there anything else you would like to do in Bay Falls, or are you going to handle that tomorrow?
It's a tomorrow job, I think.
Tomorrow, Joe.
Yeah, I'm not bothering it as tomorrow.
Fair enough.
Come on.
You come to
Oh,
a spa.
Tell you what we should do very quickly.
Mhm.
Because I feel like we're going to do spa and then get hammered. So let's get a room and an inn first.
And maybe we don't try and disassemble whatever's holding them in open from the inside. You know?
I'll leave the foundation alone.
You could head back to the Emerald Goblet, which was where you got absolutely hammered last time and found out about the wonder of Goblin Absinthe. If that's where you would like to stay.
Then absinthe sounds pretty good right now.
It's
I don't know, I
run
think I've
by...
got bad memories about that.
You don't have many memories about
Yeah,
that.
That's probably why.
Faendal got all of his memories back except them. Emerald Goblet. You walk in, and behind the bar is Jeff, the human bartender with his bushy moustache and very short buzz cut hair. How are we doing? You're a little early for the partying, but never begrudge someone starting early.
We're not starting early, this is a preemptive visit.
You thinkers drunks.
How much for rooms and then unlimited drinks?
How much does the dwarf drink?
Unlimited drink.
Basically, how much for the rooms and your entire stock? You can still sell that stock, it's just we want it reserved. If we want it at the price.
Call it 100 gold each and you got a deal.
At like 50 platinum?
If you got
doing
platinum,
maths
I'll
right?
take it.
55 gold.
I've got
Alright,
28. That's
I got
what my sheet
14.
says.
I prefer to get rid of the
74.
gold. Like, 74 platinum! Let's not
Yeah.
go platinum. I like having the platinum. It makes us
I
feel
didn't
like
realize
yeah.
I had it. I only counted gold pieces.
I mean, how many gold pieces do you guys have? 'Cause I have 14,000.
You also
That's why I
have things to
50
buy.
platinum.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, you do have
11.
those to buy. I've got 5,000.
10,000 that is set aside. So
I
I've got-
have 830 because I spent all of mine.
I have a 10,000 gold
Brilliant.
book.
But
Right?
you do have a fancy chain now, so you know you've got that going for you.
I also have the alcohol jug, which is why I technically don't need to buy any alcohol while we're here.
Alchemy jugs can only be used once per day. Don't forget.
Is it only once per day?
Well, it's a limited number of times per day. They're not infinite.
Do we really need to buy out the entire bar stock just
Okay.
just in case? I
I
mean,
would've thought-
we could pay for a little bit now and then pay for more later.
Yeah. Once the jug starts
Yeah,
producing liquid, it can't produce a different one or any more than its maximum until the next dawn.
That's fine. I've still got 4 gallons of beer there, and also I still have my
So you've got your warm up.
Yeah.
no, because you also forget I have the tank
Don't
of 20, which gives
Right.
me 9 pints of dwarven ale.
How many pints in a gallon? 10?
I don't know. Gallons and pints.
A
are
gallon
just-
is 4.54 litres, and a pint is
Yeah, I know that.
just under
Ah.
600 mil.
It's
0.6
533 or
pints in a gallon? Something like that.
yeah, so it's about another gallon's worth.
8?
Of...
Or is it 16?
I don't know.
Plus, I have absinthe.
You do. Anyway,
8 pints.
500 gold, and I won't ask you for another coin today.
And
And I'll give you my best rooms.
Sure, I'll just hand it over.
What are we saving our money for? We're gonna die. at
Your
some point.
funerals.
This isn't about drinking all the stock. This is about just splashing cash. So depressed.
Well,
We like
I'm
yeah.
gonna remember your faces from now on. What's your name, Elf?
Staying down.
Faendal, lovely to meet you. Rest of you?
Balthazar.
I have one more request. I get a hug from the bear.
I would be very happy with that.
Rambear can barely contain their excitement.
He comes
Love
around
Jeff
the
the human.
bar.
How much damage did he take from being squeezed too much?
He's a fairly brawny human, but like there's a point where he's like, "Ugh, okay, I regret. No, I regret nothing. I'll have the keys waiting for you when you turn back up. Underneath all your names. If I'm busy, one of the bartenders will help you. And if they ever ask you for a coin, tell them Jeff has got you. It's fine.
So 100 gold each, yeah?
Yeah.
I took 500 off my sheet already.
Oh.
Gold,
I was gonna
Dragonborn, splashing the gold!
That's fine. I was going to give him 100 gold personally just to him as well. So I'd give him an extra 100 on that and then 100 to him.
So you've handed over 700 gold at this point.
If anyone else wants to bring me forward, don't have to.
Oh,
I'm
like-
no.
I might
We are
retire.
seriously depressed.
Faendal, dude. Faendal got 700 depressing.
I should go buy like 10 dresses.
Thrungi is saving his money.
Fair enough. Well, see you soon. Yeah, I think I'll notice you when you come back in. You're not exactly conspicuous. And you head out back towards the spa you had been pointed in the direction of, which is known as the Full Moon Spa. A very simplistic but tasteful front, the Full Moon Spa, with a large silver disc kind of above the broad archway that leads within. Just walking past, you get like wafts of lavender and floral scents and other very enticing smells, along with kind of warm, slightly humid air just coming out of that front door.
stroll on in.
You stroll on in. There is a plush waiting room with low-lying, deep kind of blue crushed velvet couches, small like tables where coasters of ivory sit. A couple of patrons are in there with large cups, mugs of gently steaming what you assume to be tea, kind of gently chatting while wearing a white bathrobe trimmed with blue. And there is a curving desk just ahead of you, which is appointed by a what looks like an air genasi. You're not entirely sure, but kind of very pale skin and very upright and floaty demeanor, standing behind the desk, wearing a kind of silk. What's the word I'm looking for? Ensemble of blue and silver, and they see you enter and just goes, "Welcome to the Full Moon Spa. How can I help you today?"
We would like the service you have. We are very stressed and very sad. So
Well, that won't do.
yeah, that would be great.
Very well. Our complete package, which I believe there's enough time for left in the day, allows you full access to all of our rooms, hot rooms, spa rooms, saunas, ice pools for those who wish to cool off, as well as full body massages of varying types, hot rock massages, and pretty much anything you might desire. For that package, it is 50 gold each. Is that acceptable for yourselves?
Other guys.
Do you also have alcohol here?
No, I'm afraid not. We do not allow alcohol within the spa. This is a calming place. We do offer all sorts of teas and fruit waters. If you were thirsty for anything, I would be happy to get you something.
Don't worry about the alcohol. This is where we clear our mind. You don't get absolutely slaughtered. With a clear and empty.
This is where we detoxify ourselves to retoxify ourselves in a couple of hours.
In that case, do you have unlimited cucumbers for eyes?
Eyes.
She seems slightly taken aback by the question. She goes,
How many eyes?
"For our full package members, of course."
I will give her 300 gold.
That's very kind of you.
50.
Do you have any comfortable dressing gowns?
Oh, of course. I will show you to an individual changing room where within will be an array of gowns and robes that you are welcome to adorn, and for purchasing the full package, they are yours to keep as well.
I will give her an extra 50 gold.
We really broke, didn't we?
This is what happens when you give a perennially broke party far too much money.
I made a joke.
You are each shown to individual, not spacious, but enough room within such that you can change into whatever you would prefer, whether it be a fluffy white robe, kind of silk robes which are kind of cinched at the waist. All of them contain open-toed sandals, such that your feet can breathe as well while you're walking around, if you need that. I know some of you don't wear shoes. There are towels within that you can take around of all varying sizes. There is also a little handbook inside that kind of explains decorum within the varying different rooms, kind of the level of dress that is expected in various places. There are some places that no dress code is necessarily applied and people prefer to bathe nude. There are some spaces where it is common courtesy to have towels wrapped around you, etc, etc.
And I appreciate the fact that you said you'll be the dude and never made a face.
Yeah, I know. I was surprised by that as well. I was like, Rambear is nude the entire time, but bathing nude is apparently a step too far.
Oh, Rambear doesn't want to see that. Rambear doesn't want to see Faendal naked. He's so smooth, but also wrinkly.
I like the idea that Rambear doesn't know that clothes. You got it. Anyway,
But the first room you're advised to take is to head into the hot pools first, because from there people will go into the sauna to various points, or the cold bath to cool off, or get massages. But it's always suggested that you start there and let everything relax and take a breath. And I assume, I haven't actually heard from Thrungi whether he's okay with the concept of calming down. But I'll say you were advised that to go into the hot pools initially. You are all in your own individual rooms, which has access to the hot pools. Up to you what you do.
Cool, sounds good.
So you all.
I'm just gonna put on the tiniest robe.
It
to-
doesn't really
so you
work
know.
for you. That you are an abnormally large individual, such that even the largest robes are fairly small on you. You find the smallest one that would actually physically go on doesn't really cover much, but it's a nice look.
Bolero.
It's like a poncho. You are the first one into the hot pools. At this time of day, there's only like a couple of other people in here. There seems to be a couple of elves in one of the corners, just kind of conversing with each other. But none of your party members have yet walked into the room.
Rambear's gonna look around nervously and then jump into the pool. And I mean jump.
Make me an athletics check.
Oh, don't make me make checks today.
What I learnt today, by
Today
the
we
way,
can't fail.
interesting fact I learnt today: there are no such thing as skill checks in D&D 5th edition. They're all ability checks that skills modify.
20.
19. Yeah, you managed to get a decent leap up and create a bow wave and a half that splashes up into these elves that look back at you with stern expressions, and if they weren't so polite themselves, they would definitely be tutting in your direction.
And I'm gonna float until the others arrive.
Just spraying out.
Just starfished.
Did we have to shower before we came in here?
Let's say yes, because that makes a lot more sense. It's a quick rinse off, and then you put the robes on and everything.
Did Thrungi shower before we came in here?
Well, that's what I'm finding out. What each of you are doing.
Okay, sorry.
Thrungi is allowed to do other things if he doesn't want to lose Barbarian level.
Could you imagine if that's how it worked?
Too relaxed. I can't rage anymore.
All my worries have gone away.
Thrungi finds a towel that is just big enough.
Dangerously close to shirt cocking.
He does hold it on the side, but you get a lot of thigh.
There's some that will go for that.
And then we'll literally just walk to the pool, not having showered, take off the towel, and then just fall backwards.
Rambear, you're floating. Your head is up to the ceiling, which is very nicely tiled white. Couple of like gently like floating dancing lights, essentially, just going around, finding a mood lighting. And then suddenly you just feel like this, and this wave of water float up behind you, and you kind of like crane your neck back and see the bright orange, now soaked, but kind of floating through the water, and you realise that Thrungi is there. Do you want to roll a perception check?
I'm in my own zone.
Yeah,
I'm looking at the ceiling.
You're just zoning out. You actively hear with your passive perception the elves tutting now.
I'm also actively trying to ignore the like stank water that's floating
Yeah,
from
I will say
Thrungi.
just out from Thrungi, just this layer of like dust, mud just seeps out into the water. It takes a moment. Well, I'll tell you what. What are the rest of you doing?
I'm gonna wear the biggest, luckiest dressing gown possible. And I'm just gonna walk around sampling all the teas.
Ooh. There's a couple that you can get within the room itself, but you can request further. You've got literally any kind of tea you can imagine: fruit teas, herbal teas, classic teas, are on offer to you. Lemon teas, whatever. And you just start sampling them. Do you head into the hot baths room where the others are?
Yeah.
So you eventually join with 2 mugs in hand, having sampled varying ones. And in a very, very, very nicely comfy and fluffy robe, you see Rambear and a cloud of mud heading out. And just as you enter, you see some inbuilt incantations into the pool, working very hard to essentially prestidigitation the water clean. And you can tell it's taking a bit of effort for them to do it. But in a world of magic, you don't need chlorine in pools.
And I'll wear a nice, elegant silk robe. Or some hot pools. And when he gets in them, we'll also use prestidigitation and shape water. Make sure to both keep them away.
Fair enough. Rambear and Thrungi are just casually floating around there. Thrungi's actually barely staying above water because that man is quite a lot of dense muscle that doesn't float.
Hey, he's not. He keeps having to put his arm down and push himself back up off the floor.
And Balthazar.
I'll just put on a regular robe and walk out, and I'll just sit with my feet in the water at the edge of the pool.
Fair enough. You have all gathered. The 2 elves kind of realise that any kind of tranquility or peace they were having is kind of gone, and they kind of get themselves up, pick up the robes that they'd left on the side, and head off for whatever else they're going to do. And you have the space to yourselves, and begin to relax, and a chance to kind of discuss things if they need to be discussed.
I'll rediscuss next step.
No. It's a place of no thinking.
This might be a perfect time to do next steps, and then we can zone out.
What do people think?
Well, I think next steps we should see if there's a mud bath for sure, and then I think
There
maybe
definitely
the
is.
hottest pool.
It was in the list of things that you could go to while you're in the room.
And that's what I'm also.
I'd like to
How does-
see Balthazar get into the hottest bath, the hottest pool, see if he sweats a little.
Nope.
Then I think we should save Rambear. And stop letting us save the world.
The way
Zealous
that was
is
said,
doing
it
it.
sounded like "Stop Xenodis saving the world." I was like, wow. Flip.
Yeah, I've not been paying attention to this the whole campaign.
I agree with. I said his name right earlier.
Yes.
And not this. The builder, not the builder. Minotaur dude.
Vidalis.
Adela. I think I agree with him. We need to gain more power. Get stronger.
Right? How do we all get stronger?
I mean, there's an obvious choice to use.
Side
I know
quest.
a possible way of fixing that sword you have. Pardon?
Could we get there without traveling for months?
Is it in Kisdenham's?
Aye, it's back home.
On the journey there only took us a few days the first time.
Different home.
Took you 3 days by boat to reach their coastal port. That's the information you have. Thrungi hasn't shared much more.
Would Thrungi know roughly how long it would take?
It would take another few days, even from that port town, because you essentially then have to travel along the entire spine of the mountain
Yes.
to get to where you want to go. But that would take a few days via cart, wagon on the roads, which you can now travel faster than.
How far is it from here to there directly?
As the crow flies, you would have to fly over the Ashen Waste, which you would know is potentially a bad idea.
That's
I
fine.
don't think we'd walk it that much faster than some boats. Depending on the boat.
Boats
Well,
do
before-
travel fairly quickly.
Yeah, but they're not going to be travelling at 60 miles per hour.
Makes a good point.
How long can we stay in that?
An
mist?
hour?
Hours.
8
An hour.
hours.
8 hours. So how
We
far
can
is
still-
that crow
You can
flies?
still do it now, by the way.
Yeah.
You want to wind walk
it's
at any
still
point.
technically on you. At any point, you can turn into a cloud of mist.
Good use out of it.
Spend a minute thinking about it.
So my question still stands.
If you went as the crow flies, which again, all of your guild training would tell you not to do, you would have. If you followed guild training, you do a circumnavigatus route around the Ashen Waste to do it, which is still shorter than straight up and along, essentially. But if you took the guild recommended route, crow flies, you could probably do it with wind walk. 2 days?
How many miles is it?
I don't have that in my head.
Damn. We can travel 480 miles if we really concentrate on like dashing
In 8 hours.
8 hours.
You can then continue moving for another 8 hours on foot, and then 8 hours of rest at that point.
I think we're less than 480 miles. I think we are less than 480 miles away from each other.
Yeah, this is a continent.
They look it up actually, like old sailing boats. Like,
But yeah,
it's not
I'm saying with Windwalk you could make it there in 2 days.
3 days if we went round the outside.
No, I'm saying 2 days going around the outside. If you did it here's the thing, with crow flies, your Windwalk would end in the Ashen Waste, which is just not something you are ever going to do.
Right, but that's one of the things that I was asking. Was it the case that you make
I'm
it to the side of the Ashen Wastes, but not all the way there after 8 hours, and then you keep walking type thing?
No.
Question.
No, that's not what would happen.
Well, fine. That's why I was asking the question.
Yeah, it's fine. It's a good question.
They have teleportation circles in Thrungi's city, hometown.
pretty good for boats.
You would know they did.
I mean, I would not know the clothes.
It wouldn't be anything Thrungi would have ever known because he's not a spellcaster.
You would probably know that they did exist at the time.
Yeah,
It was a
yeah, he
major
would-
city. The odds are that they existed. You
But
wouldn't
he
know
wouldn't-
what they were, where they were, or whether there are any now.
Does bring up the point of if you guys get into kiss Tara, I will not be joining you. I have much thought out in my brain. 700 years of memories positive themselves. And I will need to learn to think about all the new stuff I've learned. Rearrange for the next time I spend some time away. Which is going to be another matters. I think I'm going to take a short trip to places I want to find out more about boats. I will spend this short time resting with you, get our affairs in order, guys, go wherever you guys need to go. You all go to kiss. And from there, you go to save Raman. I need some time myself.
Gonna split the party.
Then, what's the time?
It will be different without you if we continue on a quest, but yeah, it's understandable that you need time to rearrange your memories.
sense. My plan is the sword, and everyone else is stronger. Faendal, you know,
I'm going to get my mind in order, clear my thoughts. The book is supposed to. I've paid a lot of money for a self-help book to help me clear my thoughts. That's all the sort of clear thoughts that didn't take around for it. Just like it's TBT.
Zar, do you have any wish to see our little friend again?
I do, but considering he's towards Zenidus, I don't really want to go that way without all of us.
What about Rambear? How about me and Kirsten and the favor? Let's say Rambear. I will in the future definitely help you save Rambear. You great fish. Yeah, I want Rambear back.
Yeah.
It was my idea to buy Rambear.
Was your idea? Technically, he's your pet.
We have shared this.
Can I just say how much
Remember of the family.
how much I love that a meme D&D idea of buying 1,000 goats and using them in combat turned into we have a mascot now
Really?
that we will risk our lives to get back.
Absolutely.
I am in love with it.
Oh,
Define our name.
we have a secret group chat at your head, and all it was is that we wanted to buy loads of goats.
It's endless plans of how to get Rambear back. That's all it is. For months. Scheming and plotting.
It should be.
For the sake of
Yeah, it should
brevity.
be. Why isn't it?
For the sake of brevity, you all enjoy whatever spa treatments you want.
No, I want to go through it one by one. I want
Uh,
to feel the relaxation. We've earned this.
I think the important thing is we decided future plans because obviously I'm taking a break, and I'm going to take a break from journey of self-discovery, which me and Gavin have sorted out.
Yep.
Although in June, July.
We'll figure it out. It's fine.
You guys all going to go to Kisses? Are they going to go with? Get nice
Yeah.
sword, maybe find out other things. Maybe run back and learn how to snow animals, as well as snow creatures. Be a snow leopard or a snow bunny.
Then we'll just leave it be killed by a evil demon.
Ooh, that's an idea.
I'll die to a demon in a sword while I'm away. I'm okay. Very upset.
What's
I would be honoured to join Nyah on her quest. Need a win.
How we all become stronger.
Yeah, Thrungi, is there a way for you to get stronger if you go back home?
I don't think he's so much. He's going back to whatever dark path he has, and he's going to go face that.
Yeah.
I think he's going to come out of that angrier, stronger, or more control.
Thrungi's literally only going home, as it were, because he knows that there is a chance that it will help us in the fight. That is it.
I do love the idea that Thrungi's return home goes one of two ways, and both of them are the Hulk. He either turns into Hulk from Planet Hulk, or he goes full Bruce Banner where he gains control of it and he's always angry but in control.
Planet Hulk
I mean, I get constant rage.
as a aside, I want to film actually this. Planet Hulk is actually smarter, more calm. He gets a wife and child. You mean that Planet Hulk is World Breaker Hulk,
That one.
where his wife can die
Yeah.
and he destroys it.
That one. Anyway,
During this time, Thrungi will probably let them know when they're alone that he does know that it looks to have been repopulated. So he has no idea how it's going to go, considering that he, as far as he was aware, is the last dwarf of the original hold.
We can figure that out when we get there.
In awkward.
How does Balthazar aim to improve strength? His power.
More cleric training, I think. Probably like praying a lot while we're traveling.
Do any of you guys have something Bearfolk? Wait.
You're the only person with anything on back order in Bayfalls.
But you guys got money to spend now.
Oh yeah, there's still plenty of shops in Bayfalls where you can find a lot of stuff.
Thrungi doesn't have a huge amount of money to spend, but all he wants to do is find an axe to replace the axe he's got.
I mean, it's still a plus one axe.
It is, but he loses a big chunk of what makes it good. So if he can replace it with just a basic +1 or a +2 axe, it means he can then attune to the sickle instead.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. If you buy a plus one axe, you've already got a plus one axe. You can unattune from. And still keep it as a plus one.
Yeah, he wouldn't just trade for a +1 axe. He'd be hunting around finding the best
Yeah,
option.
I usually stand by the convention that +1 is shown is essentially a weapon is very well made, and therefore you don't have to attune to get the bonus. +2 and higher, they are magical enchantments now on the blade, and it starts towing a line depending on the enchantment. But we can discuss that. But for the sake of brevity, you all get whatever's... Carry on, Brent, sorry.
He did want to see whether people would put into a group party fund of getting him a level 5 fireball tattoo for him to set off.
Another attune.
That isn't needed and tuned because it's a one-use item only.
Is that what we said? Yeah, we did say that at the time. Because it's essentially what it is, it's a spell scroll he's just carrying inked on his body. So it's a trade-off with being able to spell scroll, safe, you can choose where it is. Tattoo, he's in the blast zone. That's how we rule it.
Just a level 5 tile. It's a tattoo.
Good question. I can't remember how much it cost you.
It cost a lot because I had to pay extra in order to be able to use it while raging.
Say that Faendal offered to supply the enchantment.
No, the enchantment is done by specifically trained tattoo artists.
So Faendal will be able to be like, I can do like fireball.
He does say, look, you can make me like a contained fireball in like a tiny glass bead that I wear around my neck. I will happily wear that.
I don't have a fireball. I do have a black hole. If you want a black hole around your neck. Bead of force.
That's not a black hole.
It sucks you in.
That's not how Bead of Force works.
Bead of force you either get trapped in or you get expelled out.
You can get trapped in a Bead of Force.
Any creature that fails to save is completely trapped. He's trapped inside the sphere. Yeah. It's like a black hole thing.
It's not a black hole because they can breathe. It's a containment field.
Yeah.
I will say it is technically possible while on downtime for those of you who are magically inclined to create spell scrolls, try and create magical items. Faendal, maybe on his journey of self-discovery, might make some stuff. Who knows?
There is a family present. I mean, if you want to be the force to go around your neck, I don't think you necessarily want to be in the impact zone.
Yeah, but he can throw that at that point.
But you can throw that, yeah. Little emergency explosion thing. Do you want to carry that around the neck of the emergency?
I reckon save it.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Problem with that is it's not like a lot of damage. The main thing is just keeping it.
If I'm honest, I think we save it for the big fight.
How much is the tattoo? Like, actual value?
I genuinely don't know if I have those notes on me.
We did.
Level will be uncommon. Second level, third level will be rare. Fourth level, fifth level spell scroll is very rare.
Something like that. Hold on. I'm trying to see if I can search.
Did we do that when you were all kind of off on your own thing? Or did we do it in a session that you got that?
His magical tattoo he got in a session in Bayfalls, right?
I
I don't
think
know
so.
whether it was a session or not.
Or we might actually have notes in the app about it, but we can just okay. Like over, is it over 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 100,000 gold?
10,000 is like right up to 10,000. That looks like a legendary. So, is it going to be the same price as early because of the spell scroll?
Yeah, let's do that.
Fifth level spell scroll is a rare item. That's what? 5,000?
I'm trying to find it.
Is it common 1 to 50, uncommon 50 to 500?
4,000 for a 5th level spell scroll.
What on, Chris?
Add in 10% for tattoo
Mark.
tip. Always tip your tattoo artist.
How much for third level spells?
3rd level spell, 800. You can only... It's hand wavy, but generally I say you can only have one tattoo spell on you at any time. You can have other tattoos, but tattoo spell itself, it's making sure that the magics don't then interact.
The rule was I could only be attuned. I could have multiple tattoos on me, but I could only be attuned to one magical tattoo at a time.
Yeah, I need to work on the tattoo rules. Full stop. But yeah.
I could have the one. I could have a one-use one as well.
Yeah. But yeah, a 3rd level spell scroll is 800.
How much does it cost just to make spell scrolls rather than tattoos of spell scrolls?
It takes a bit of time to make them. That's the main element. Plus, that, by the way, with spell scrolls, that's the price of just the enchantment itself. Any material components that are part of the spell are then added on top. So if you were going to get a spell scroll of Revivify, it would actually cost 1,100 because you'd have to include the 300 gold diamond in the creation cost.
To make a spell scroll is very expensive. There's rules for that.
Yeah, the rules. The main thing is it takes a lot of time.
A fifth level spell scroll takes 4 weeks to make, and it's 5,000 gold pieces worth of components.
Which is why these numbers are probably off, but whatever.
Yeah,
For the sake of brevity, we will do shopping in a bit. You get everything you want at the spa. You are as relaxed as you can be. Rambear is as fluffy as they have ever been. Nyah's hair is pristine golden. Faendal's beard is beautifully oiled and shaped to a point. Thrungi, your hair has been treated to help it grow back to its proper Mohican length. And all of the burnt and acid-eaten ends have been cut off such that it will grow back properly strong. Balthazar, you are polished to a golden sheen. And you head back out towards the Emerald Goblet, where by this time, you are the last people to leave the Full Moon Spa. The sun has set. It is now like a very burnt umber across the sky. And you head back towards the Emerald Goblet, where the sound of rejoicing and tavern drinking inside is aplenty.
As we leave the Full Moon Spa, I want to give him another 50 gold. Excellent service. But Faendal's got a lot of money on it. You don't realise how much debt he's in. It's not processed.
It would be really funny if Faendal ends up not having the 10k.
Here's the thing. I literally haven't changed 1,000 column of my gold. Like, not pushed it.
But yes, you are now getting thoroughly drunk in the Emerald Goblet. Is there anything in particular you want to be doing in the Emerald Goblet, or drinking the night away and being happy for once.
Yeah.
We've played our minds. Built our fights except for maybe Thrungi, because that's what makes Thrungi happy.
Happy for you.
Ooh,
Happy
we can test Gethin's what's the word? Spontaneity. I'd like to play a card game with the people just here.
Sure.
What we've done, or do you mean like
With you guys.
You know a couple of card games between playing through the within the guild.
And Thrungi pulls out a playing card set.
You know two in particular. You also know a dice game. You know card game. One is called Courtesan's Crick. The other one is called Gambit of Ord.
Let's put cards together, and then after that, we can try and beat people at dice, because Nyah's really good at dice.
I also have rules for drinking contests, and as I said, the game Duel of Dice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So what would you like to play? Courtesan's Crick or Gambit of Ord?
Yeah.
Courtesan's Crick is essentially Texas Hold'em poker. Gambit of Ord is much more simplistic.
Playing card games, Stephen.
We'll play Gambler's Crick. Yeah, Gambler's Crick.
It's good.
That you've combined both of them there, Chris.
Yeah, we should do that though.
Courtesan's Crick or Gambit of Ord?
Courtesan's Crick.
Courtesan's Crick. Okay. As you know, Thrungi explains this because he, as I said, is proficient in card games. So knows what's going on. I believe Nyah is proficient in dice games.
Yeah.
So we'll
The initial ante from each player is 5 gold pieces. It can vary, but since you are also loaded, he's decided it's 5 gold pieces.
like 50 gold.
Now, I need each person. So basically, the premise is, as I said, it's a sort of poker. You will be rolling 3d6, okay, and you are looking for, like poker, it's highest die, 2 of a kind, all odd, all even, a low straight, a high straight, 3 of a kind is the top, is the royal flush equivalent. Okay, you will roll 3d6. You can then all bet, as you would normally. After that, each player can re-roll 1 dice of their choosing from their pool. Another round of betting, and then reveal. If anyone has proficiency in card games, at any point, you can modify one of your dice up or down 1. So you can change a 3 to a 4 or a 3 to a 2.
How do you know if you're proficient?
If you have it in your proficiencies.
You're
In their proficiency, it's not something that's ever made in a character.
It is. You would select it as part of background.
Are we doing this secretly?
You will roll them all secretly.
So not on D&D. Oh no, can we do it on D&D?
You
Yeah,
can
you
do.
can do
You
it
can
to
send it
self.
to just the DM or just to yourself or
Yeah,
anything like
just
that.
DM.
So
No,
yeah,
that would be really confusing.
would 3 dragon anti-set count then?
3 Dragon Ante is the other name for Courtesan's Crick.
Send them all to DM.
Okay.
What are we looking for?
Yeah, what we're
I'm
looking for.
rolling dice because
So-
I roll dice.
Yeah,
3 of a
that's
kind,
That's fine.
working from top to bottom. Okay, 3 of a kind. So all dice are 1s, all dice are 3s, whatever.
Yeah, have you got it saved? You could just post it.
I could, to be fair. I'll get it up in a second. High straight, so 6-5-4. Mid straight technically then comes in of 5-4. You get the point. High straight, low straights works in that order. All even, all odds, 2 of a kind, high die. But you have all rolled
Oh.
3d6.
Yep.
All even, all different even, or
Yeah,
Oh,
so
and-
it could be a 2, 4, 6, and that's all evens.
it can't be like 2, 2, 4.
Oh no, that's still all even.
Is it still all even?
Has everyone rolled 3d6?
Yeah.
Since Thrungi dealt, and I'm working clockwise essentially, Rambear gets the bid first.
Was it
We're
a 5
starting
gold?
at 5.
Yeah,
Five
you
gold
all
then?
put 5 gold in as an ante.
Okay. Are you tracking this?
I will track it. I've got 25 gold in the pot currently.
Alright.
I'm off to the goal.
Rambear's gonna up to. I put it in the game chat.
Thank you. I was about to do it, but I just noticed.
I've misspelled everything, sorry.
It's fine.
And. Screw it. Let's go in 20 gold.
Nyah, do you match? Or raise? Or fall?
All raised.
I will match. Does that mean I put the same?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
put 20. You put another 20 gold in.
It's
Balthazar?
just us playing amongst ourselves, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
Okay.
essentially playing with with house money.
I start with dice.
I'll match it. Why not?
85. Faendal.
10,000.
Is it poker rules where if you have to raise it by the...
No, you can
Yeah,
raise it
no.
by any. You have to match and go above, if you want to raise, but you can go above any amount.
Chris, Matt, you have to double first.
We're not doing double.
Okay.
Oh.
Confident.
I'll raise another 10 then.
So another 30 added to the pot.
I put 30. I
Uh,
put 30.
Thrungi, 30 gold to match.
Thrungi matches.
5. Rambear, 10 gold to match.
Match.
Nyah?
I'm wondering if you could
Balthazar
see
I'll
that
match as
number.
well.
7-5. Okay. Everyone can choose to re-roll 1 dice. If they want. You don't have to.
It's gonna be
It's your choice.
on D&D Beyond. But
Yeah.
it's-
You are tracking your own numbers as far as I'm concerned. I'm trusting you.
I got
We have to consciously pick which one we're re-rolling then.
Yes, exactly.
I've re-rolled and I'm using my one game use
Yep.
thing.
It's an interesting thing with that because you can decide whether to nudge it up before you re-roll or after you re-roll. It's a interesting use of the thing.
I'm doing it and I'm doing it after I've rolled.
Okay.
Do you have to re-roll?
You don't have to re-roll a dice if you don't want to. If you want to keep your your initial sets, you're fine.
Round I re-roll the 2. Wait, was you?
Rambear has
Sorry.
a 2. You know that. She's going for the evens.
Oh.
Rambear, do you want to raise? The pot is currently 175.
Yes, I do.
How much? It's like anti-tracking hit points.
Fuck you all.
So that's 60.
Yeah, if you're doing it by
50.
how it goes round, Emma shouldn't be raising it next. It should be after Emma because that's how it works.
be
in
after.
poker. You have the
Doesn't
first
matter.
ante and then the second ante. Then
That is a valid point, but I've done this now. Nyah, Rambear has raised 50 gold.
I don't wanna, like,
Is that time he gets his tattoo? Is it if he's
what are my options if I don't want to spend this much money?
You can fold now. All the money you put in the pot already is lost to you, but you don't have to match what Rambear just put in.
So you can either sacrifice the 35 you've already put in, or you can put in another 50.
Fine, I'll put it in the 50.
275.
That's why I
Balthazar,
asked whether it's. I'll rate match 50 as well. That's why I asked whether it's just us playing or whether it's like the house is
325.
playing or someone
Faendal,
else.
Oh, Matt.
375. Thrungi,
100.
Oh, come on.
475. Rambear, did you match 50?
Oh god. He's feeling cocky.
Yeah. Not
What?
proficiency.
Oh. Deception check. I want to bluff check.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
That's... Yeah,
Roll
sure.
into-
Thrungi, roll deception, because regardless you're trying to keep it up.
okay.
Rambear can roll insight.
How can you tell? You're gonna...
You can't.
Thrungi, what did you roll as a number?
I rolled on the die a 16.
For a
plus
total
2.
plus 2.
Ah.
He is Stonewall. Steely glare. You get nothing from him. Except for the fact that he threw in 100 gold and you need to match it with 50.
Rambear's gonna move like in closer and closer until they're uncomfortably close to your face, Thrungi. And throw another 50 on the table.
Thrungi just lets out a massive beer belch.
Nyah, you've got to match 50 if you want to stay in. Fine! Balthazar?
Yeah, I'll match it.
Faendal?
Oh. And
The
at
pot
same
is
time,
currently 675 gold. You have drawn a crowd, because that much gold on a table is eye-catching.
At the same time, Faendal called for a round of shots and a mixture of them, so they're all special.
Okay, you get essentially a top shelf round. There is some sort of mead, some sort of whiskey, some sort of gin, some sort of just plain white spirit.
It's got a magical shot. Not a magical shot.
You haven't got magical shots yet, but you have asked for them, and requisition is coming.
Or can there be one shot that's really awful? We can also roll to see who has the worst shot.
Yeah, there is also a equivalent of an for those of you who have tried it, remember that Valhalla shot?
Yep.
That's not bacon vodka.
Bacon vodka it is. That's the fifth. Right. Reveal what you have, starting with Rambear because we're continuing round. Rambear has
2 twos.
Rambear has a pair of twos. Nyah, what do you have?
I have 2, 4, 6.
She's got a all even. Okay, so all even is currently winning. Balthazar,
I've got all odds. 335.
lose out to Nyah's hand. Faendal,
I also have all evens, but it's 2, 2, 4.
that's where high card then wins. Oh no, because 2 of a pair wins over high card. So technically, 2, 2, 4 would win over 2, 4, 6.
Doesn't it? Ooh!
Annoying.
So currently, Faendal has the pot, and he's eyeing the gold greedily as Thrungi. Thrungi?
Reveals 2 6s and a 5 that gets turned into a 6.
Thrungi just, with the biggest grin you have seen him ever have of joy, just lays out the cards casually and leans back, tankard in hand, and takes a big swig.
I rolled 2 6s at the start and then rolled a 5.
Wow.
And
So,
Thrungi, you get 675 gold.
I think
Yeah,
we
this
need
is
to
how
use,
Thrungi gets his tattoo.
And round of shots. Everyone roll a d20.
Oh my god.
Thrungi just doubled his money, really?
Nearly.
Faendal didn't lose. Oh, yeah, how much did we put in? 675 each.
No, 675 was the pot.
675.
135.
Yeah. So, yeah. Faendal didn't even put
135.
1%. Faendal didn't even put 1% of his total wealth.
Balthazar and Thrungi, you do need to roll, but I already know who's getting the shot. The vodka bacon.
Oh
I rolled
no! Oh
I rolled
no!
and that one.
Oh, you rolled as well. Wow, there is mysteriously 2 vodka bacons in here somehow. Thrungi?
While Thrungi was like pulling his money into his chest, somebody like switched his shot out.
Thrungi, what did you roll?
11.
11. The rest of you get... Thrungi, you get the gin. Rambear gets the whiskey. And Nyah gets the mead. The other two... One of you gets pure white spirit. Balthazar gets pure white spirit, and because Chris suggested bacon vodka, Faendal gets bacon vodka as his shot.
It's correct.
Sounds horrific.
It's awful. It's god awful. The worst thing I've ever had.
Have you not had that bison piss vodka?
Bison grass? No, bacon's worst.
Really?
Just so you know, this bacon vodka isn't made bacon vodka. It's, you can get a machine, they had it at the bar in Swansea, where it adds syrup flavours. It's a Smirnoff machine, and it had a bacon flavour syrup. and it added that to the vodka, and it was Saracen best.
Yeah.
Yeah, vodka's the worst. Ice and grass is not great. I don't like
Was-
Swarovskis. People like it.
I was quite worried that you meant that because you said, "Oh, it wasn't like made bacon vodka." I was quite worried you said like somebody put like raw bacon into
Yeah,
a bottle of
that's what I
Smirnoff.
was imagining. I was imagining it was like gummy bear vodka kind of thing.
Yeah, that's worse than they condensed bacon into a syrup. Fine.
At least it's cooked bacon.
Anyway, what else would you guys like to do with your evening? Continuing to drink away. Magical shots do turn up, and they're all named after very famous 3rd level wizard spells.
Do that. We'll do another game first, and we'll do another round.
You want to do another round? Okay, this time Rambear is dealing.
Let's try dice
Different
game.
game.
Oh, you want to try? Do you want to play Jewel of Dice, Gambit of Ord, or we could do the genuine drinking contest, which I always have rules for.
Contest.
Nyah has proficiency in dice, I believe.
I have proficiency dice, so you pick a dice game.
Okay, so dice game.
Dice game.
Which
Okay. Gambit of Ord. Each player rolls a d8. So each person puts in 5 gold, initial ante. Okay? Each person then rolls a d8. Up the pot, d6. Up the pot, d4. Okay? Highest total wins. Simple as that.
Oh,
If you have proficiency in dice games, you're allowed to re-roll 1 dice, but you must do it before you move on to the next dice. So, you can re-roll that d8, but you have to do it before the d6. You could then choose, if you don't do that, you can choose to re-roll the d6. If you don't do that, you can choose to re-roll the d4 right at the end. And that's what the proficiency gives you.
If the reroll is worse, you ignore it.
Nope, you have to keep the re-roll.
Okay.
That's the gambit that you play with. So, 5 gold in each to start, unless you want to up the ante since you're all rich.
No, 5 gold is good. Let's not get
I think we're fine with 5 gold. We go crazy after that.
25 gold in. Each player roll a d8.
Secretly.
Secretly.
Thank
Because
you.
Nyah has started this game, we'll be starting from Balthazar, who is on her left, for upping the ante. Balthazar, do you want to increase?
I'll increase it by 10.
10. We're up to 35 gold. Faendal.
I'll increase again by 20 on top of that. So I'm going to put 30 in total.
You're putting 30 in. Thrungi. 30 gold to stay in.
Yeah, he matches.
Rambear, 30 gold to stay in.
Yeah, I like hanging out with these guys. Let's do 30 gold.
Nyah, 30 gold to stay in.
Yep, 30 gold.
Balthazar, 20 gold to stay in.
I'll stay in.
175 gold in the pot currently. Everybody roll a d6. Balthazar, back to you.
I'll put another 20 in.
Faendal, 20 to match.
50.
50,
Raised by 30.
raised by 30. Cool. 50 gold to match Thrungi.
Matches.
50 gold Rambear. Rambear's got to tell.
Very good question. Actually, no. I don't want to see Thrungi win all my gold. I'm out.
Rambear folds.
Folding.
Nyah, 50 gold to stay in.
Fine, 50 gold.
Remember, you can reroll.
Balthazar,
match.
20 gold to 30 gold to stay in, sorry.
I'll match that.
375 gold is now the pot. Everybody who is still in, roll a d4.
Rolling web to see what I get.
Balthazar. Do you want to raise or stay?
I'm gonna raise it by another 50.
Faendal.
He's confident.
Yeah.
You got
By 100.
Jesus Christ.
150.
Do 150. So
Yeah, so you
500.
increase his by 100. Thrungi, 150 to stay in. I'm struggling with maths right now, people. Nyah, 150 to stay in.
Yeah.
I'll match the 100 as
Balthazar,
well.
100 to stay in. No, the pot is currently 975 gold pieces. Going around the table, Balthazar, your total.
16.
Let's no, first, let's go what Rambear would have got.
Yeah, Rambear, what would you have got?
Yeah, so you guys are probably pretty happy that I didn't continue playing because I would have split the floor with you all. I got 5. Lowest score, probably. And that wins, right? Lowest wins. Closest to 0 wins.
What did you roll on your dice?
I rolled 2 2s and a 1.
Amazing.
I was like, I rolled 1 2 and I was like, no, I can save this.
I
And
can
I rolled
save
another
this.
2, I was like,
I can't say this.
Oh.
Balthazar
Oh,
reveals his dice with the 16 total.
holy shit.
Faendal,
I'm
you
8,
reveal
4, 4.
your dice.
13.
13.
I got an 8 on the D8 and I got overconfident.
Yeah, I did as well.
Typical gambler problem. Thrungi,
16.
we will circle back to this.
Nyah.
I am going to use the time to come up with a split.
Unless
Nyah,
Nyah.
Well, I rolled an 8, a 6, and a 3. So I think I win.
Nyah with a 17 to seal it at the death. That is what that reroll gets you with that proficiency.
Oh,
I rolled a 4 initially, and I re-rolled it, and it was an 8, and then I got a 6 naturally, so I was like...
Nyah, I said again, the crowd around, like, there is hushed awe around this. How a very simple dice game has basically a grand riding on it. Like, and then
a grand in gold,
Yes.
which is 1,000 days' wages.
3 years' wages just sitting on the table.
How much do I
100
win?
pounds.
So, like, everyone's like, oh, as Balthazar reveals his dice, and it's like, wow. And then Faendal reveals his, and everyone's like, oh, tough luck, old man, a couple of shouts. And Thrungi reveals his, and everyone just starts whispering, like, wait, are they just going to split the pot? Is it going to be a decider? Is it going to be a roll-off? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? And then Nyah, in all of her glory, shining golden hair, just casually, like, whips her hand back from the cup over her dice, and just stone silence. And then cheers erupt as Nyah just rakes in all this money, and everyone's just like patting her on the back, celebrating. And it kicks off. Everyone goes back to their drinks. The fiddlers start kicking up again, and people like barrel out into the street telling the story of the ridiculous amount of gambling that's going on.
2 games and a half.
Yeah, how much do I win?
975 gold pieces.
Fine. Now we drink.
Magic shots.
Magic
Magic
shots.
Shot. Then drinking
Magic
on.
shot.
Magic shots. 5,
Magic shots. Keep on
10
passing out.
shots come to the table. And each one is labelled to tell you what they are called. You have one called Fireball, one called Lightning Bolt, one called Counterspell, one called Major Image, and one called Thunderstep. Well, I say, there's 2 of each, I should say. That's why there's 10.
I mean, I've got to go with Fireball, you know? I got to.
Roll a Constitution
Thrungi
saving
does
throw.
too.
Oh! 17.
It burns as it goes down, and like you take it down, and then suddenly, and you let out a small like puff of fire, like you're a fire breather coming out that, and a couple of like embers begin to like coat around your beard.
So, we're twins now. Fire rat.
Who takes another one?
I'm going to take the
I
other
want-
fireball.
You take the other fireball. Roll a Constitution saving throw.
17.
17. Again, you take it pretty easily. It's hot. It definitely feels hot, but then just out the back, just you control it, and you feel it bubbling up, and you feel and just a small like gout of fire, much smaller than your standard ones, just come out, and everyone's like, "Oh, wow!" as it comes back out.
Take a thunder step.
Thunderstep. Roll my Constitution saving throw.
22.
22. Jesus, none of you are failing these. Like, you chuck it, and like for a second you don't think that anything's happening. Like, it kind of rumbled as it went down your throat, made you feel weird. You sit there, and then suddenly, you suddenly just shift like 2 foot to the left, like barreling into Thrungi for a second. As just like a loud thunder noise comes from like underneath you and shifts you. You just have to gather yourself for a second.
So major image, lightning bolt, and
Major image, lightning bolt, and counterspell.
Well, I would like major image.
Major image, roll my Constitution saving throw.
It's just a straight D20. It's not gonna help. 20.
20. Take it down. You begin to feel woozy for a second. And then you blink. And you don't notice it for a second, but Faendal is staring directly to your right, and you turn to your right, and there is another Rambear there. You're not seeing double, you're being double.
And I give myself a bear hug.
Yeah. You dive in, give yourself a bear hug, and just go straight through the illusion that's there, and it very then quickly just poof, and fades back into smoke.
That was worth it for a second.
Thrungi.
He takes a counter spell.
He
Take
takes all of the
counterspell,
rest,
Constitution saving throw.
Thrungi just gets the rest of the board.
Constitution.
Come on. Auto
What was it? 27.
27.
It goes down and it's just like, what was that? It was just rye whiskey, nothing special. And then just out of the corner of your eye, you see someone like accidentally like let go of their tankard while jigging, and it flings towards you, and you like instinctively throw your hand up to deflect it, and then suddenly the thing goes ping backwards and goes and hits them in the back of the head. Sitting here. You will see that happen. Just a tankard goes pinging away from him like he's got a force field around him.
He also now immediately takes a lightning bolt.
Constitution save.
18.
18. You get a little tingle down you, and like the hairs on your arms stand up. And then you go to like reach for your standard tankard just to get, and then just a burst of lightning just like zaps out towards the metal on the handle of your thing, and like arcs for a second and then dies out.
Drinking competition, you said, Thrungi? Is that what you wanted?
Aye, but you lot got to finish your shots first.
There's only 4 shots left now. No, there is
Okay.
5. There's still...
Oh, yeah, 2.
4. You said 2 each, right?
There's 2 each. 2 fireballs were had.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've gone through one of everything and an extra 5.
That's it. Thrungi had 2, sorry. Yeah.
So, I'll take a counter spell. But I'm rolling really well. 19 on the con save.
Yeah, nothing seems to be happening, but Thrungi has seen you kind of take that shot, and he sees his opportunity and like picks out a gold piece of his own and lobs it at you. You don't even see it coming before he's like ping, and it throws back at Thrungi, and he has to.
And he gets straight back, knowing that it was going to happen.
Roll a dex check. It's your intention. Just can you do it?
The dex check.
Yeah, straight dex.
Dex 16.
16. Yeah, you catch it as it pings back into your hand. It's a little charge, like it's slightly humming, and then the hum goes away.
I'll take one of the lightning ones.
Constitution save.
13.
13. You take 1 point of lightning damage. Because you're not quite resistant to that spark as it goes down your throat. And again, you then reach out towards Nyah, just to kind of test it out, and you see it like arc across her and like cascades up her arms. Doesn't hurt anything, but you just like, it's like a visible static shock essentially.
Cool.
There is a major image left and a thunderstep left.
I've already had one. The step.
I will take the major image.
Roll a con save.
Another 22.
Nothing. And then you
Oh, we have-
you eagerly look around, and then you realise that it's back to back with you. And you look around, and there's your major, and it like turns around to face you, and you're like nose to nose with a duplicate of yourself for a couple of seconds before it.
I'm like, damn, you're so pretty. Girl, what's your skincare routine? It's like, yes, looking fun.
Yes, queen.
Just hyping myself up.
Rambear, last shot.
Please don't fail. 14.
14. You're okay. And then, like, it doesn't seem to move you that much. You feel the rumble, like, go up your legs and then just... But you're heavy enough that it doesn't actually move you. You just kind of, like, spasm slightly and then go back down. But everyone's
Sort of like a
enjoying
bad
the noise.
burrito.
Yeah.
Nice to be in a bar where people want us there.
We
I
can
wish
change
we'd
that,
have rolled
don't worry.
well. I wish we'd have rolled that well against the fight where the people put the spear. Would have been nice.
Thrungi. Everyone has done their shots. I
It's
believe you were
downtime.
challenging people to a drinking game.
Yeah.
Okay. Rules for the drinking game. Everyone get a number of d6s equal to your constitution modifier, minimum of 1.
Thank you for that clarification,
The
Gethin.
game is a race to rolling 10 sixes. Okay? After each time you've rolled your group of d6s, so you roll them in a group, so Thrungi will roll 5 at once, Faendal will roll 1 at once. Every time you've then rolled that, you must make a constitution saving throw. The DC gets harder with each round.
I think I should use the fog dice for this.
Are we saying how many we got? Are we trying to keep track of them? Or...
So yeah, we'll do it round by round. That's essentially what this is. So if everyone roll a number of d6s equal to your constitution modifier, and tell me how many you have.
It also opens this up to anyone else in the tavern who wants to join in.
I am not tracking that.
50 gold in the middle of the table.
You could track one person.
I will track one person who I'm going to give a constitution modifier of 3 because they feel like they're capable of this.
And that's just loads of people in the bar are winning,
Yeah.
taking part. That one person wins.
Everyone roll your d6s.
Is anyone else matching the 50 gold that's in the middle of the table?
No,
Oh,
because I know I'm not going to win.
This is a drinking
Is it-
contest. The goal is to get drunk.
Yeah.
Everyone roll your d6s and let me know how many
What's the difference?
d6s you get. 6s you get, even. Balthazar.
0.
Faendal.
One. Go for one.
Nyah. Rambear.
1.
Thrungi.
1 and 4 5s.
Balthazar, you were 0, weren't you?
Yeah.
They got none. Okay, everyone make a constitution saving throw, DC 10.
That one.
You immediately throw up. You are out.
Fuck.
Not out of the night, right?
No, he's just
Still got
out of
more
the
drinks.
contest.
Out of this game.
I'll tell you.
Right. Oh, no,
They've got... Yeah, they got +5 to their constitution because they've got +3 in proficiency, we're saying. Anyone roll below a 10, other than Balthazar.
Right.
Faendal, you realise that you are not meant for drinking beer, you throw up, and are out of the drinking contest.
I mean, technically, Thrungi can't roll lower than 10.
Yeah.
I didn't roll in that one, you say, but...
Everyone roll again, the number of d6s you have. Faendal and Balthazar, you are spectating and can try and cheat if you want.
How come
I'm gonna roll what I was anyway. I've got 2 6s in a row. I think. Nah, I don't know. How much?
Thrungi.
1
Nyah.
and 4 5s.
6.
Again.
Yeah, seriously.
How'd you get six? You don't have a constitution of +6.
What?
No, you're rolling to get
rolled-
6s.
Oh,
Yeah.
you,
On
no,
the
yeah. No.
How many
On the
sixes did you
first
roll?
one, did you roll a 1 on a D6? Sorry, you said that's not what you were supposed to do. You're supposed to roll D6s equal to how much your con mod is. What's your con mod? No, what's your con mod? No, it's not. It's +2. So you roll 2 dice. So that would no. So you roll. Oh, you just rolled a dice for a 1. A dice for it. That would be a first one.
Yeah, that's still a 1 for the first round.
Roll
Roll
2 more
D6
D6. That's
So roll another D6.
Roll 2.
Roll another 2. So, 0.
0. No changes for 9. Rambear.
6s you got on them D6.
Another 1.
Every time.
Okay.
You rolled 2 6s. Right, what's your con mod up there? Ah, fair. Everyone roll a Constitution saving throw. DC 11. Nah, I'm gonna make this up by 2 every time. DC 12. Speed along. Ooh. They're not rolling well. They've got a decent mod.
So they're saying that I was doomed from the start.
It was DC. Look, drinking games favour people who are obviously better at drinking games. Dice can maybe. Nyah, what did you roll in your Constitution save? 12. Just succeed. Rambear.
I was doing okay, but I rolled a 9. Now I'm not doing so okay. Got the spin.
Rambear just starts spinning, tries to like reach another beer, and like just tumbles off their chair and just goes into a little bit of a. I'm just gonna lie here for a second.
Let's get my strength.
Someone comes over and like gives you some belly rubs. Thrungi, I assume you're fine.
I rolled a 16 on the dice.
Fair. Next round, you are trying to get to 10 6s.
Can I attempt to cheat?
What are you trying to do?
And I mean, it didn't really do anything, but I can see there's a massive unfair advantage here in favour of 4. I pressed the digitation. Nyah's beer to taste nicer.
Sure.
Flavour it, season it.
Yep. You ever?
Advantage on a dice.
She can. Yeah, she can roll an extra d6 this turn.
No, we.
No, just
Yeah,
an
roll it.
straight up extra d6 rather than having to reroll one. So
So
possibly.
I rolled
Thrungi, how many more did you get? 3 more.
one.
Nyah, how many more did you get?
0.
They didn't get any
Okay.
more. The crowd didn't get any more either. Constitution saving throws all round. DC 14. Alright. Nyah and Thrungi?
18.
18.
Oh,
Keep drinking.
really, again, back to that. Unless someone else wants to speak for Nyah.
How many more 6s, Nyah, Thrungi? Thrungi is getting very close to winning. Nyah has got a lot of catching up to do. DC 16 Constitution saving throws. The drunks in the bar are holding on well.
22.
Strongie's got the collar and Nyah's
21.
magic.
21. Anyone doing anything to try and tilt the odds in any way?
Too drunk to figure it out.
Yeah, that's a valid point. Everyone roll again. Nothing.
I think that's probably sad.
Barely holding on. Thrungi, how many more? None. Nyah, how many more?
0.
None. They got none more either. Everyone, DC 16 Constitution saving throw, I believe it is now. No, 18. 18.
Oh! Funny. Become fine.
Nyah's gone.
That's 20.
No,
Gone,
not
nat
a
20.
That's 20, yeah.
Nyah is casually just pounding them back at this point. She's in a groove, but she's got a catching up to do for Thrungi. Thrungi, what was your roll?
19.
Total.
I rolled a 10.
Ooh. Towing the line there a bit, Bryn. Next round, new whole tankers are slammed down. You're all starting to feel... You're drunk, you're not ill, but you're definitely feeling full. Like, you're not sure there's much space left at this point.
Actually, Strongie's down them quick, but you know,
I'm not
I
gonna
might survive long enough.
How many more 6s, Nyah?
fun.
Thrungi!
1.
This drinking game will not end!
Thrungi
Everyone's
on
starting
9.
to chant. Everyone's just starting to chant and like slam mugs on the table as this drinking is going on. DC 20 Constitution saving throw.
Not 20.
They've progressively rolled higher on their D20 throughout this competition.
What happened for last session and compared to this session?
Thrungi, I assume you succeeded?
I want
Annihilated.
+9.
Another round of drinks, you're pounding them back. They've switched up to kind of honey beer at this point because they're not sure. They got another one! They're up to 4. Nyah!
I think Thrungi might win this time.
Yeah.
Thrungi's won this round, I think.
0.
0. Thrungi!
None.
No.
He just rolled this guy.
DC 22 Constitution saving throw. No one gonna win this money. The crowd is out. The last one standing suddenly starts drinking. You see him trying to hold it in, and throws back up into the tankard that's in his mouth, and he just cuts out and he's out.
Funny that, but it's Nyah and Thrungi now.
Nyah, you are the same. You're trying to down this one, and you get another one in, and just you're like, oh God save me, and just like collapse over, and people like quickly run over to make sure you're like not gonna throw up and choke on your vomit. You like quickly brought back to consciousness, taken out to go throw up in a bucket. Thrungi is the only one left, but he hasn't won the drinking contest yet.
Yeah, I rolled a 25.
Thrungi, roll another suite of D6s.
4 5s and a 2.
DC 24. By the way, if you at any point fail a Constitution save, this money goes to the house.
I rolled a nat 20.
Not
So
20.
29.
Last round. Jeff now comes over and just goes, right, this is the last round for this contest. If you don't do it now, I'm taking your money extra. And slams down 2 more tankards in front of you. You double fist them, start chugging them back. Roll your
Right.
D6s.
The last one, I'm rolling it into my dice tray. See if that helps.
5 D6s. 5 6s.
1.
I've had 100 d6s.
Well, how many did you roll, Bryn?
I rolled a total of 1.
That gets you to 9. You like start for each other. The other one starts spilling out too much into your beard, and Jeff goes, nah, I've had enough of this.
Thrungi gives him a look and says, "Give."
Roll intimidation. At disadvantage, you're fucking hammered, even for a dwarf.
Natural 20 plus.
At disadvantage.
Oh yeah. So, 15 plus 6. 21.
One last go. You do have to make a DC 26 Constitution saving throw.
19 on the die.
Fair enough. You want to roll 1 6 from 5 dice.
I know.
The odds of it not happening are quite high.
The odds that he hasn't done it by now are terribly low.
Oh yeah, sorry, low even. It's
I'm
impressive.
missing a dice.
Pick up another D6 quickly there.
No, I literally just rolled. Oh, there it is. Would you like to see the absurdity of this dice roll?
It's either all 6s or none. What I'm loving is
well.
currently he is in a competition with himself for his own money.
Just to finish it.
Pride!
I don't know how he loses this. He was winning anyway.
Jesus Christ! Thrungi just stares down Jeff. Jeff goes, fine. Puts in front of you a very heady tasting, smelling beer. It's thick, almost. There's like honey and floral to it along with the oaty barley underneath. You take it back and it's like syrup going down your throat, and you chug, and you chug, and you chug, and you slam it back down, and roars erupt around the tavern as everyone just finally just like, he's finally done it! He's managed it. The old fucking bastard dwarf can actually learn how to drink.
Oh, by the way, a natural 20 on the con.
You are holding it all together. You are drunk. Regardless of anything. You're not thrown up. You're hammered. You are all... Well, actually, those of you who have thrown up are doing a little better. Nyah's drunk.
We will be put down because it's coming to the end of the night. I think it's time for us all to have absinthe and see what happens.
Yes.
Have absinthe, we don't know what happened, and then we have to roll on a table to decide where we wake up in the morning.
So we paid for such fancy
Everyone...
rooms.
Thrungi, did you dig out the absinthe?
Yeah?
We have the absence
They're
brought up to our
asking for
rooms.
it, yeah.
This will finish off the bottle that's open. I believe you have another bottle, though.
Ah.
Double check.
I
think
know you
you're
have an
right.
open bottle and a closed bottle.
So I do. The open bottle has 13 shots left. Because I've been keeping track
Okay.
of it.
Once again,
Because a full bottle has 28. We all had a shot. I had an extra shot, and I've spiked my drinks with it twice.
Fair enough.
Or so.
Everyone roll a Constitution saving throw, and Jeff will as well.
yeah.
I need to take off 6.
Yeah.
So I have 7.
I'm going to give Jeff the obsidian dice.
Stop rolling the dice!
Nyah!
Jeff rolled a natural 20!
You did!
Yeah!
I did as well! Nyah's had 3 natural 20s.
Absolutely stonewalling
Come
this
on,
absinthe.
come on.
Be a
Oh,
one.
so close.
Guess what better
Really?
at drinking them?
Rambear and Thrungi, what do you roll?
29.
29.
Right, was it? No, not 20 as well.
No, yeah. That is, you lot, you have, at this point, built up, the amount of alcohol in your system can't get much worse, such that the absinthe doesn't kill you.
What did Rambear get?
An 8.
I got an 18.
Rambear, you are spinning. Just, you are a dancing bear in a circus right now. You are out of it. People are just trying to, like, steer you away from any large, like, supporting beams. Roll me a d6, Rambear. Faendal, you feel ill. You are starting to spin as well. That thing hit you, it burnt down the inside of your throat. You're starting to think it might be a terribly interesting idea to see what happens if you start using magic in this space right now.
No. No.
Go do it.
I wonder,
No, you don't.
would I drink faster if I was hasted? I haste myself.
You cast haste on yourself. You see him suddenly, like, hammy the hamster.
No. I go into the bathroom and cast haste on myself.
You see Faendal, like, totter off. And then he comes back, just, like, head, like, snapping, like a squirrel on the heat. Back in the bar, and he's, like, picking up random people's drinks and chugging them back. There is... Thrungi, is there another round of shots?
There is technically available.
I'm asking whether you make another round. Jeff will not have another one. He thanks you very much for this. He's like, I think I should stay a little bit sober. And that's probably going to hit me when I go to sleep tonight. So, I appreciate it. And I appreciate you entertaining everyone here. And then he, like, slightly stumbles back over to the bar. Is Thrungi putting out another round, considering multiple people seem fine?
If people want it, he's not going to force them.
You're all drunk enough to want another one.
Yep.
Yeah.
You four, Faendal included, because you are hasted enough to rush over and think it's a good idea. Constitution saving throws.
Dirty 20.
Balthazar.
5.
5. Balthazar and Faendal instantly on the desk, head smack against it. There might be the sound of some broken teeth on Balthazar, considering the snout. It was not gracious. They are out like a light. Amazingly, Faendal is still kind of vibrating a little bit. The haste magic still seems to be hanging over before it eventually kind of just dies down, but it takes a while. Nyah, you take it confidently, like cheers to Thrungi, and then yeah, you realise that was a bad idea, and you just start leaning. Thrungi, what did you roll, by the way?
28.
28. You just start leaning backwards, trying to keep eyes with Thrungi, and then you land in just some like hay that's on the floor to kind of act as a soft, like absorbent thing, and you are out. I need you 3 to roll a d6 for me. Thrungi, what are you planning on doing for the rest of the night? Your party is all unconscious. There's still other people in the bar drinking.
He lifts each one of them up over his shoulders.
Okay.
Apart from Rambear to start off with, and literally dumps them in the middle of their room.
Okay, those d6s aren't relevant now.
Oh,
Downstairs, picking up Rambear and just dragging them.
All of you wake up with bruises you don't remember from a drunk Thrungi dragging you and bumping you into walls and stuff. But you do, fundamentally, all will wake up in your own beds. However...
was that?
Sorry, go on. What did you want to do?
You go finish that.
No.
I was just having a thought.
No, have your thought, because
Was that D6 where we were going to wake up?
it was odds you woke up in your room, even you woke up somewhere on the tavern floor downstairs. But Thrungi was just enough conscious enough. However, that night... Faendal, you, with your elvish magical constitution and only needing a shorter amount of time, kind of surface in your room at one point. Give me a second. And just kind of pace around trying to sober up. And you dig out one of the books that you just kind of carry with you and start studying it.
Oh no, the Faendal is a beast.
And you kind of sit down and just to make the room stop spinning for a second. And then you take in the rest of the room and realise that everything else has kind of stopped. The gentle wafting of the curtains on the window kind of frozen mid-flutter. Dust particles to the side of you kind of suspended in the air. There is no noise. If anything is happening downstairs, it is silent. If there is owls outside, they aren't hooting. It's infinite blessed silence, the kind that good library has. You have called to me. Another one that welcomes the power I can give. The voice is sourceless. Speaks with a darkness beyond time itself. You are not the first to reach for my power in a time of need. I ask, what would you do with it?
I don't recall.
The 3 marks on your skin are achingly cold. 3? There was only 2 before. You feel a cold pain on the left side of your neck, just underneath the high collar you always keep. Only the truly driven can reach me. I see you seek power. but also understanding. You wish to know how it all works. The cycle, the creation, the end. You wish to make sense of it all. You wish to know why it all works.
Still silence.
The hairs on the back of your neck prickle. That animal instinct, like there's something just over your shoulder. As you hear the voice whisper in your ear. Do you wish for that greater understanding? I can show you.
I do not wish to speak with you.
A guttural bellow rocks your mind as the world about you snaps back into motion. The wind gently bringing you back. You feel a trickle of warmth come down your ear, and you reach up to your pointed ears and you look down upon your hands and you see the deep crimson of your own blood leaking from each of your ears. You catch a breath, realizing you'd been holding it for far too long. No one else seems to be aware. Roll me a perception check. You feel a heavy weight you realise you've been carrying removed from you. That dead, cold itching of your skin that you'd kind of grown accustomed to is gone. And that incessant drumbeat call of the spheres has faded into silence. Your mind is quiet. And totally your own for the first time in months. And with that, you realise you should probably spend at least a couple more hours trying to meditate and sleep and get a proper rest. Nyah. Deep in your drunken stupor dreams, you awake. You're back in Faendal's tower on Kirond. Chaos, dust, and death hanging in the air as you prepare to fight for your allies, sword in hand. Out of the corner of your eye, you see two of them, Balthazar and Faendal, wrestling over that damned sphere. Their faces vicious, eyes black, drawing blood as their nails rake across each other. You know they are corrupted. Can you really trust them in this quest? Where do you think that betrayal is coming from?
Matuya?
You're falling. Outside the tower, the cold air rushing past you as you see Faendal floating above you, watching you fall, sphere in hand. He looks down and sees you, disdain written across his face, a sneer crawling across his lip, as he turns around and lets you fall. He places the artifact in the hands of those robe and bone covered mages. Now, why did he do that? He gave the weapon to the enemy. You cannot afford to fail because of others' weaknesses.
He wouldn't do that.
Roll a wisdom saving throw. you come face to face with a giant, dark spider, regarding you with 8 glossy eyes. Remember when he used all of his magic, leaving you stranded in that tower, allowing them to get to you? He's far too smart to have done that by accident, surely.
No, we're a team. We're gonna defeat the enemy together.
The spider's mandibles open. You look inside of its maw, and yellow venom drips from its long, pointed spider fangs. Do you have the strength that needs to be... Do you have the strength to do what needs to be done?
I trust them. I've learned to trust them.
Why does he choose to leave now? You wake in a sweat, a bitter taste in your mouth. Beneath the blanket, you're gripping something in your right hand. It's comfortable. It feels right. It should be there. It's been missing.
Can I have a look at it?
In your hand is silken spite, the beautiful blade of forged spider silk, the ruby gem in the pommel glinting with a subtle light. As the last bit of your consciousness comes back to the waking world, you hear a gurgled chuckle in the back of your mind.
Well, Nyah, if I know. Oh God. Fine. We're gonna fill this thought with something nice.
We'll pick up next morning. You're all fully rested, hungover as hell. Some of you with very acidically burnt throats. You all get a greasy as hell breakfast, or as greasy as I think Rambear's vegan. Got a vague memory of Rambear being vegan. Anyway, as greasy as you want, of any kind of food that you want. Bearfolk's is plentiful and that kind of strings. There are a few more things to tie up this session. Is there any shopping that people want to do? I just want to make sure that we get everything done with Chris before he has to take his break. Bowl? Easy enough. You can all kind of divide and conquer for this. In terms of bowls, you would probably head to the Jackdaw Jewelry shop. In there is, at this time of morning, a male dwarf, salt and pepper beard, salt and pepper hair. Introduced his name as Grollock. The store is quite busy. There's a lot going on in the store. It feels a little shady on some level, but it's a jewelry store and it'll probably get you what you need. How many bowls do you want to buy?
Is a bowl worth 1,000 GP?
Is it 500 or 1,000?
No, it's 1,000, I'm sure.
Thank you.
We'll go for the one.
Just the one? They remarkably have one in stock. And you have a 1,000 gold piece gem encrusted bowl. They only accept cash.
It's fair. I give them 1,000 gold pieces.
As opposed to
Exactly.
As opposed to 20,000 silver pieces.
Checks.
IOUs.
Who wants to go to the Mithril Hourglass? Well, actually, Faendal, you have to go to the Mithril Hourglass and the Fancy Dryad. That is where your two goods are. Is anyone going with them? Mithril Hourglass is where the book is. Fancy Dryad is where your capelet is.
Where could you go in this town?
A tailor and a bookshop to go to with me.
I'll go along because there's a tailor involved.
You want to go to the tailor, don't you?
Just to have a look.
I don't know if it's a dress shop.
Okay, you head to the Fancy Dryad, run by Hugo and Flick, the husband couple. Flick is just finishing opening up as you arrive. Oh, welcome! Oh, I remember you. I also remember you. We have something for you on back order, but you are fabulous. And that dress! Where did you get such a thing? I must know who completed such fabulous work.
Is it not completely mangled?
It's folded up and creased, but it's fine.
But it was on fire.
Can I like unleash it so it goes down to show him the whole thing?
Ooh! That is very nice.
Alright.
Very useful for one of your profession.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever did that is wonderful craftsmen, and I must get in contact with them for insight into their business.
Like the Dapper Wolf, the dress, the
That's a very good name for a shop, and I think very similar to ours in branding, so maybe there's something there. Now, what can I do for you fine folks?
I believe I have a cloak.
Yes. Just give me a second here. He goes into the back and brings out a stylish single-shoulder cloak made up of patterned green and white dragon scales. A very nice kind of golden trim put around the edge, just to make it all in one ensemble. And as I say, it fixes over one shoulder, a strap goes across the other side. It is a capelet, essentially. Now, due to the nature of the age of dragon scales that we had for this, a full level of enchantment was not quite possible. However, I do believe it will have some use for you. The remaining amount required for this is 2,250 gold pieces, and then it is all yours to do with as you wish.
I will hand it over.
He then goes into explaining that while it has a magical enchantment on it, due to the, as I said, the age of the dragons that the scales came from, they don't hold the enchantment permanently. So, in game terms, it has 3 charges, regaining all charges at dawn. While wearing this cloak, not attunement, if you take cold or poison damage, you can use your reaction to expend a charge and halve the damage taken. Only the cold or poison damage. It's like a reactive resistance to a single attack. And that is called the Capelet of Dragon Scales and is on D&D Beyond for you.
Question with that is I have a cloak.
You cannot have 2 cloaks. You can't have 2 items in the same thing. So you would have to give it to one of the other 3. Because Nyah also has a cloak. Or, ask the cleric nicely to finally remove curse and take that displacer cloak off.
Yeah, we've never even spoken about it, have we?
Nope. That
He
cloak
doesn't use the
has
curse.
tried to kill him on multiple occasions.
Yeah, I mean, I quite like it, the advantage on things. It doesn't work out yet, because I get targeted more. Like, I have basically 11, the advantage is very helpful. That's why I get it.
Well, is there anything else I can help you with today? Yes.
While he's thinking, as you can see, I have a cloak. It's very boring. It's just plain black. It is, however, enchanted. Would you be able to maybe change its appearance, make it a little bit,
We could
make
add
it
some stitchwork into it and give you something. Do you have a family crest, or maybe a religious entity that you'd be interested in having it decked in, or maybe the logo of your party? We could get something put together. Shouldn't take long.
Yeah.
We could send it up to the Citadel once it's finished.
That would be very.
spider webs even into the logo.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Faendal. If you could create the logo out of spider web weaving, silver spider web, yeah, but it's shiny.
What logo in particular?
The goats of wrath. Goat.
Got
We
it.
have a symbol. Is it a goat head? Yeah, it's the group chat logo. It's a goat head.
the goat.
Got it. I don't think that's too much effort for ones of our skills. Let's call it, or give it a bit of expedited, 20 gold pieces for the job, and we'll have it up to you at worst tomorrow morning up at the Citadel.
I'll give 60 gold.
You are wonderful patrons, and I do love doing business with you.
Who do I want to get rid of my?
You can debate that as you head over to the Mithril Hourglass. What is anyone else doing?
I was
Who's go-
wondering if they would buy a cloak this person.
Oh, then
Hold it.
you would have to convince them that it's not cursed, considering you at the minute can't take it off, and Balthazar is not with you.
Let's go back. Yeah, let's go get one.
What's anyone else wanting to do while they're here?
Thrungi plans on going back to the tattoo shop
Insignia? Yeah.
and seeing if they can redo the fireball tattoo. Check how much it is for the fireball tattoo.
I'm just going to go off the top of my head, and I apologise if this is more expensive than it was originally, and say it was 5,000, just go 1,000 per spell level to get that done.
Cool. He's not going to do it for now, but
You're aware that is there as an option?
Yeah.
Very well.
he can remember the price.
I'll see if I've got it in my notes somewhere of the actual price, but I doubt it at this point. It was a very long time ago. Balthazar,
check.
anything?
I'm just chilling back at the tavern at the bar.
Cool. Just waiting for everyone to come back.
Yeah.
Faendal, I assume you drag Nyah to the Mithril Hourglass?
I'm not going to force it upon them.
Yeah, I'm following along.
Inside,
You can use spell scroll.
Why
inside,
break magic and die instead? No.
inside the magical enchantment shop, you find the lovely brass Dragonborn known as Nyah. She welcomes you in. She goes, "Oh, it's a pleasure to have you back. We still have that book on back order for you. No one's anteed up the price for it yet."
Excellent. I would like to buy it completely.
You had the look of that when you walked in. She puts her spectacles back on her snout, digs out her record books, just check it. She goes, "I believe there is 9,000 gold remaining on this book."
I have 9,000 gold. Apparently, 9,000.
Well, that is pleasant, shall we say. And she turns around and in the locked cabinet pulls forth the tome of Clear Thought. I can't remember what it's called.
Self-help book.
Tome of Clear Thought, yes. She goes, "I suggest you get reading to this quickly and keep reading until you are finished."
Will be probably a week of study.
Is there anything else I can help you with while you are here today? I have plenty of potions that I've recently brewed and no one's had need for if you're interested. And a couple of spell scrolls as well, if there's anything in particular you're curious about.
I would definitely look to peruse your web.
In terms of potions, I can provide a decent array of healing potions if you need. But usually guild members are usually well supplied. I also have these, and she brings out a 2 stack of potions. Holds up various ones. This is a diminution potion, if you need to be small for a short period of time. This trio, and there's bundled together in twine, 3 potions of heroism. And then this rack over here, she pulls 5 more potions over. Each of them swirling with slightly different colours, but all kind of stop with the same. These are all potions of resistance. I have 2 lightnings, a psychic, a thunder, and a necrotic.
Necrotic.
Yeah,
I
that's what I was thinking.
have no interest in potions, but
What exactly does the necrotic potion do?
It will give you resistance to any kind of death, magic, or the like for about an hour.
Resistance to death.
Already.
I'll take a while.
even
Yeah, you're resistant. You'd be resistant to necrotic damage for an hour.
Nyah has one currently because Thrungi gave her one.
and we are going to fight a vampire.
Yeah.
Maybe necrotic might help.
Yeah, we should stack up. I'll take the necrotic potion.
That'd be 400 gold for the potion.
Yep.
I should do a business with you. She hands that over to you. I also recently picked up this. It was called Restorative Ointment. I believe it's meant to kind of help you recover a little better when you're taking some time to gather yourself. In meta terms, it contains 1d4 plus 1 doses of a mixture that smells faintly of aloe vera. As an action, it can be applied to your skin. You regain 2d8 plus 2 hit points, stop being poisoned, and are cured of any diseases.
I mean, that is immune to disease anyway.
Yeah, but that's
Well,
it's
2d8.
Yeah.
With a d4 plus 1 amount of time. So that's 4 to 10d8 of healing. So it helps with that.
It does take an action to apply, unlike healing potions, which we obviously use bonus actions. And I believe I got this one brand new, so it is fully stocked with 5 decent lubrications.
Phrasing.
And how much is that?
Well, I obtained it for 500 gold, and I would like to make a decent, some sort of profit on it. So, for such good customers who have already given plenty of service, shall we say 600 gold?
That's fine.
Very well. She slides it over to you.
It's coming out of the party, so we'll have it. But yeah, I'll pay the 600.
And Nyah take on the healer's role.
I'm just gonna hand this to Adam. Oh.
Anything else anyone would like to do in Bayfalls before you head back?
Spell scroll.
Spell
Wait,
scrolls.
what?
What spells are you wanting, Faendal? She has a decent list, and there are plenty of other places in Bayfalls you can find spell scrolls.
Oh, okay.
Let me know what spells you want.
That's too much.
What
Let's
is
try for that afterwards. I got one. Oh,
Okay.
what's the potion called?
it really is.
The potion, the necrotic potion.
the
Potion of resistance. And then it should be in brackets like necrotic.
It's potion of necrotic resistance.
Thank you.
You've got one at the moment.
Right.
So you need to add it.
Well, clean the white.
Oh, the ointment is called Restorative Ointment. If you search for ointment, it should come up. Anything else from anyone?
Yes. Are there any little children who make bracelets which have, like letters and beads on them?
Yes.
Like a world's greatest butler bracelet, please.
It costs you 2 silver.
Pay 4.
Fair enough.
And I'd like the bird to fly that across to
When you
Emilio.
When you head back to the Citadel, you send Citadel a friendship bracelet. Are you okay going back to the Citadel all now? Chris, we can handle spell scrolls offline if there's any that you particularly want. Upon your return to the Citadel, Videlis and what's his name? Guildmaster Tarek Shouther, the half-orc cleric of Ralthoros that you had spoken to about the Seren text before, asked to meet with you. Dressed in his dark grey vestments, the middle-aged half-orc approaches you. Guild members, Rindolan, and the rest of you, but Rindolan specifically, you have once again requested access to open up the mausoleum of one of the guild founders. Your case has been made by Commander Videlis here that there are pressing needs to take such risking actions of potential desecration of a gravesite. However, since right now the guild cannot offer further aid in the dire quest you are taking upon yourselves, with the proper rites and rituals done in the process, I see a way we can enter. Under my guidance. There will be no breaking of objects or harming of any laid to rest bones. Do you accept the terms? Very well. Come with me. And he begins to lead you down, and you are quickly joined by one of Nyah's favourite people, Lady Andromeda of Bane. The badass paladin who potentially who is a paladin of the light goddess and has stained glassing within her armour. You begin to walk down into the very depths of the citadel and come to the guild founders' mausoleums, deep in the heart of the catacombs that the citadel has. You trek past the varying other guild founders and come to a smaller one, down the far end, covered in dust, sealed behind thick black wooden doors barred with scorched iron. Souther picks up a heavy set of keys and begins to unlock the doors while muttering under his breath varying incantations that you would recognise the sort of tone and nature of them, Balthazar, as being kind of utterances of hallowing and varying other kind of abjurative and restorative phrases. A bunch of heavy locks sound, and eventually the doors kind of open slightly. They are pulled slightly ajar by Lady Andromeda, who then you see her blade light up in kind of shimmering stained glass colours as she steps into the mausoleum, kind of checking it first, and then Souther enters and beckons for you to follow. I would like Faendal to roll investigation. Is anyone doing anything to help him? He's the only one with any level of knowledge as to why the text would be here and where to look.
I'm a bit like the guild fangirl. Would I be able to help in any way?
Not in this instance. You know elements of the history. This is Faendal found a buried diary of a former guild founder, and it led him here.
Find that again? The diary.
The diary you found in one of the archives within the library that had just kind of been forgotten because it was very small and particular. It was of the last surviving guild founder after all the others had perished or disappeared.
Does Rambear have full water? I know that
Yeah,
sometimes Rambear
right.
make
I have something weird. I have something weird in my notes. Is what I'm just checking. I have the guild founder written down as Emiria and also Seren.
That's her surname.
Oh.
She's Emiria Seren.
All these people having 2 names. It's too much. Stick with one. Jesus. Cool. Okay. In that case, I think we do have a little bit of knowledge about her because we were going through the notes. We briefly talked about her quite a few times.
I was more wondering, does Rambear not have a magical ability to enhance ability?
Yeah, I can also help you out. I think guidance. What's it called?
Ability.
One that enhances your abilities.
You now have advantage on
Oh,
intelligence
strength.
checks.
Strength.
Just strength.
Anyone else doing
No,
anything?
enhanced ability and also you want wisdom? I think I can give you.
You can
a
only
spirit
do one at a
totem for
time.
that.
It's a concentration spell.
Spirit totem.
Oh, spirit totem. Fair enough. You can do that.
Yeah, that's like, cool.
Anyone else?
I can do guidance.
No,
Just
I don't know how happy they'll be with you stuffing a totem in the middle of the mausoleum.
Have a totem.
I'm gonna take my big stick here,
Right.
leave it.
You have advantage and a d4. I need you to roll an investigation check.
Yeah, over 30. No. Oh, nearly over 30. 29.
29 total. You spend some time being very careful going around, kind of looking for anything that was being here that would belie to something being left here. Throughout this time, Shalthor is kind of standing in the doorway, reciting kind of hallowed spells. And Bane is kind of just following you around Balthazar, acting as a light source. She knows you have dark vision, but light source will help, and also just making sure you don't do anything sacrilegious, essentially. You spend the time looking around, and your eyes are drawn to the central casket. And like a secret panel in a video game, there is one subtle piece of brickwork on the back side, on the opposite to the door of the casket. That the dusting, the dust layer is slightly off. There's a heavy layer of dust throughout here. No one's been in here in a long time, but like that layer it's settled slightly differently. Like it's not quite flush.
I am going to have learnt my lesson and not just press it willy-nilly. I will call up a paladin lady
Yes.
and be like, does this look off to you?
that look pushable.
I will take your word on that. It certainly looks something.
Do I have your express permission to do something potentially disruptive? Not me personally. I'm just, to me, this seems like a button that may encode some secret. I have had recent history making bad decisions.
She looks at you a second and goes, I shall ensure that if any harm does come to you from this, you are protected, as are the others.
And I press button.
It's like,
Roll a dex save. No. You push this, and it is the most subtle of clicks, like to the point you're not even sure you actually managed to push anything. It's only because of Rambear's spirit totem that your passive perception picks up the very subtle noise. Just, and the panel kind of shifts slightly, and then you can slide it downwards, so it's resting on the lip of the bottom of the casket, and inside is a small cubby hole about the size of a letterbox, maybe 6 inches deep.
Very inside.
Reach inside, apprehensive at first, and and find a leather-bound notebook full of yellowed pages, completely haphazardly bound within it. It's not organised. There's bits sticking out at angles. Heavy brown leather cord kind of wrapped around, binding everything in.
I believe I have found it.
Well, it looks like you have some reading to do.
What's reading to do? Don't know what happened.
Bane, Andromeda then reaches in and just kind of slides the fake brick back into place. She turns to Shouther. I believe we are done here, Guildmaster. And begins to kind of lead you subtly outwards, Faendal. Shouther stays behind. You see him starting to prepare kind of a grander ritual, essentially, to reconsecrate the ground. Essentially a hallowed spell, for anyone that knows of the spell. Bane, Shouther just goes, if you find anything, I would deeply... I would prefer if you came to me with any findings, with all due haste. Lady Bane, would you please return them up through the catacombs and ensure that whoever is in possession of that text is well looked after? Of course. And you all begin to lead back outwards. Eventually you come to the top of the catacombs, and you realise that the library where all research notes would be turning left. Your own rooms and everything to the right. And you are at a point where you would consider parting ways.
Got a lot of things, guys. I'm like the president. I wish you luck on your journey.
Okay.
On with your books, nerd.
One book.
On with your book.
Books plural.
Are we planning to head off? Like immediately? What?
Oh, we're not going with him to the library. Ugh.
Oh, right.
It's a library.
Faendal's just disappearing to the library, and that's like it. The next.
I have a view. Also. I like how the picture of the book. I kind of want to have this
You're quite muffled at the minute, Chris.
hello. Hello. Let's be like a streamer. I have a gift. Someone. There is someone in need. I grown quite attached to my cloak with its little evil nature and its little tentacle things.
Just one of them like briefly comes up to his throat.
Ow. I would like to offer two. I mean, I don't know if these are wanted. Rambear, I would like to return something that I stole from your people long ago. I have a cloak of autumn leaves that I may have grave robbed from a druid site. I wore it for about like 6 months.
I know.
When we were in desert.
You do know about this.
I know about this. I saw you rob it.
Would you like it?
The very least, I should probably return it to my people at some point. Maybe Janet will speak to me.
Honestly, very useful cloak. It's tempting to keep it. It's probably technically better than my current one, but return it. And then this is an item that I bought a long time ago and do not need now. Someone want a cape of dragon scales?
It's like a thing for capes, don't you, Faendal?
Yeah, apparently I just keep collecting them. This one's only a mini one.
A cape of dragon scales. Sounds like there's only one member of our party.
Yeah, I didn't want to didn't want to make the assumptions of being like, hey, let's give the druid cloak to the druid and the dragon scales to the dragon. But Balthazar, would you like a nice? It's not. Bear in mind, it's not a full cape. It's like an Ezio Auditore little like shoulder cape.
That is
You'd be like,
exactly the design.
that's pretty cool.
Quite cool.
Think of all the dramatic flips you can do while monking with that cape.
And it's stylishly white and green.
Not sure.
I'll
spray
goes
painted.
together,
Well, that's
Yeah,
what
I'll take
Faendal
it.
wore as
Thank
well.
you very much.
And it's non-attuned.
Ooh,
So it's just there for free.
I'll give it a try for a bit.
I have other items to give away if someone wants a staff of protection. If someone wants to use the staff. But that's it.
Sure, Thrungi will take anything he can sell as well. I think he's saving up for something big.
I mean, Rambear, do you want a staff? Like,
I think I
do you have a magical staff? It's not attuned and it lets you cast Bark Skin, Mage Armor, and Shield of Faith. What do you use as your weapon at the moment?
I have a club that I got. Part
Not
of me
crack.
first. No, I just use a normal club. It's a
Normal
great club.
This is a quarter staff. I think a quarter staff is like the same as a great club.
I think so.
Great club's better.
Great club is great
Great
club.
club's
Yeah.
2d4 if I remember correctly.
2d4 versus 1d6, 1d8. But this lets you, cast Bark Skin, Mage Armor is a big one. It means that you.
I will say it requires attunement, the Staff of Protection.
Is it?
Yeah, I already have a lot of
Never mind.
attunement. I mean, you
I'll
can keep
keep
hold of it. You could. Maybe
I'll-
you need it.
Maybe
You're
I'll
getting all
dual
sorts
wield.
of scraps in the library.
Maybe I'll dual wield staffs.
Piss off some librarians.
Oh, there's my last gift. One last gift. You guys are going to the cold north, and I'm not going anywhere cold. I'm gonna be fine. Do you want my to keep you warm and cold tonight in the mountains, so that you will think of me and how I will be groaning and complaining and being awful? Yeah?
I think Nyah's taking it.
So, cape to Balthazar, cape to Rambear, that she doesn't need, or really want, is just to return to the grave.
I'll
I
wear
will.
it on my way back.
You
Maybe.
don't need to attune it to wear it.
I-
Like, you don't need to attune it to wear it. It's a nice, stylish, leafy cloak. It looks like autumn leaves.
Specific. Otherwise, the shark will eat it. I can't put it in my bag.
That's true.
And a thermal cube tonight.
Well, with your goodbyes, as Faendal heads off to study text of a wizard who has been missing in action for a few thousand
Not-
years,
Not starting them texts first. So we'll clear thought first.
along with other books that he has recently obtained. The rest of you go to gather your equipment and deal with the seemingly pressing threat that is Silken Spite, having delayed it for as long as you can. I think we will end the session there. And I will say a sad farewell to Chris for a couple of months. The wizard will be missed, nearly as much as Chris himself will be missed. But the rest of you will continue onwards in your attempt to montage the shit out of yourself before facing down a vampire who wishes to end the world.
Come back, buff.
But
Okay,
that is all for next time, and yeah, see you soon.
bye.